Welcome to Work Smarter with Microsoft PowerPoint. In this course, you'll discover the basics of PowerPoint, what it is, how to use it, and where it can help you in your daily workload. This course helps you to get started with key features and functionality in Microsoft PowerPoint, giving you the skills to create, edit, and present your work. PowerPoint presentations help you to communicate your message, make a connection with your audience using text and media such as pictures, graphics, text, and videos. Finally, use the visual tools of animation and transition when presenting your presentations. By the end of this course, you will be able to get started with PowerPoint, enter and edit text, use visual elements such as graphics and Smartart, format and adjust the various objects in a presentation, and prepare to deliver and present a slideshow. Best of luck on your journey towards perfecting your PowerPoint presentations.
Welcome. Whether you're interested in learning how to use some of the essential Microsoft 365 Office applications or preparing to earn a certification, this program covers what you'll need to achieve your goals. You'll have access to a range of resources designed to support your learning journey. Before you begin, we recommend that you are comfortable with the basics of how to use and navigate a Windows operating system, familiar with how to use a mouse, keyboard, and start menu, and, if possible, experienced with operating both an internet browser and a printer system. So, if you're good to go, it's time to look at the content you will be able to access in this program. In each lesson, you have access to videos, readings, exercises, discussion prompts, practice quizzes, and graded quizzes. The videos guide you on the key features, elements, and the best practices associated with individual Microsoft Office programs. There are also several optional videos. These are not mandatory and can be skipped if you are already familiar with the material they cover. Next are the readings and exercises. Readings are articles that provide a more in-depth look at the topics you cover in the videos. They can also be an item of information in themselves. Exercises are articles that provide step-by-step instructions for performing tasks that you encounter in videos. To complete an exercise, you'll need to open the Microsoft Office program and perform the steps as outlined in the article. Each exercise guides the requirements. You can pass this course and all graded assessments without access to the downloadable version of a particular Microsoft program, and you are free to use Office for the web or another version of a Microsoft Office application. You should note that some features covered in the exercises may not be available when you use another version. As you navigate this program, remember, you're not alone on your journey. Through discussion prompts, you are encouraged to actively engage with classmates on the core topics covered in each module. Take the opportunity to be inspired or to inspire others. Each lesson also has a practice quiz. A practice quiz is a series of short questions that assess your knowledge of the topics you covered in the lesson. At the end of each module, there is also a graded quiz. A graded quiz is more like an exam. There are more questions in this graded quiz than in your practice quiz, and your answers in this case do receive a grade. After you finish and submit a quiz, you'll see your score. For some quizzes, you might also see feedback, like hints or explanations for each question. All quizzes include multiple question types. You can retake quizzes if you need to improve a score or if you did not pass the first time. When you complete a course, you'll earn a certificate that you can share with prospective employers and your professional network. In the final module of each course, you'll also have the option to complete the honours material. This is an optional honours assignment you can complete for special recognition. In these assignments, you'll have to draw upon the knowledge that you have gained throughout a course and put it into practice by applying your new skills to an assignment. You don't need to complete the assignment to get a course certificate, but if you complete the honours assignment, your course certificate will include a special honours recognition. You're now ready to navigate your way through these courses and start building your skills with Microsoft 365. Have fun learning.
PowerPoint is Microsoft's presentation software program, which is available through the subscription-based Microsoft 365 service. It can be used to create a variety of presentations, from a basic slideshow to a self-running narrated presentation with embedded videos and sound. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to navigate the PowerPoint user interface, open and use a default PowerPoint presentation, Add text to a slide and to slide notes, save a presentation, and use help. Thomas from Westcal Publishing will soon use PowerPoint more to help present projects to Westcal clients. He has used PowerPoint before to create basic in-house presentations. Now he wants to get more control of PowerPoint so that he can make a great impression when communicating with his customers. To get the best out of PowerPoint, you should understand presentation fundamentals and the many ways you can use PowerPoint functionality to best deliver your message. Let's get to know PowerPoint. PowerPoint Presentation Application is part of Microsoft's suite of Office productivity tools. It features a similar working environment to the other Microsoft applications, along with some unique features of its own. PowerPoint's features include an intuitive ribbon-based interface, point, click and type slide creation, pre-designed themes and variants to help you create a professional-looking presentation, and slideshow animations and slide transitions. When you launch Microsoft PowerPoint, you see the Start screen. On the left-hand side of this screen, you have links to create a new file or open an existing file. You'll also find tools to save, print, share, and more. Simply click one of the new options to either open a new blank presentation or open a presentation based on one of the templates. Use the search box to search for an existing file. Recent files will be listed here, along with any files you have pinned or files that have been shared. On the bottom left-hand side, you will find Account, Feedback, and options to help you manage how PowerPoint and other Office apps work for you. There are two distinct working environments in PowerPoint. There is the environment you have as you build your presentation, creating and editing individual slides. And there is also the slideshow or presentation mode. When you are ready to deliver your slides to an audience, you switch to this mode, and you have an environment optimized for presenting your work. Presenting your slideshow will be covered later in this course. For now, let's focus on the working environment you see as you create your slideshow. When a presentation is opened, you see the full PowerPoint interface. Let's take a closer look at some of the primary components. The Quick Access toolbar gives you easy access to frequently used commands. It includes the autosave icon. Autosave saves your file automatically every few seconds when a file is stored on OneDrive, OneDrive for Business, or SharePoint Online. This toolbar is completely customizable and can be positioned above or below the ribbon commands. Commands you will often find on the Quick Access toolbar are New, Open, Undo, Redo, and Start from Beginning, which presents your slideshow. The title bar displays the name of the presentation that is currently open. You may also see more information about the file, for example, if it has been saved or has been opened from the internet. With the search box, you can find help, people, commands, text in your file, and recent files you have worked on. The set of icons in the top right-hand corner of the screen are for program management. Your Microsoft account user information is there, and you can view your account or access commands to sign in or out of an account. You can minimize the window, maximize, or restore the window, or close the current presentation. Below this are commands to share the current presentation and manage comments. The ribbon interface has several tabs. This is where you access many PowerPoint commands. Each tab has its own set of related commands. Just click the tab name to see its commands. The Slides pane holds a thumbnail list of your slides, allowing easy presentation navigation. The contents of the selected slide will be shown here in the working area. Use the scroll bar to move through the slides in the presentation or through an individual slide depending on your zoom settings. You may also see a horizontal scroll bar depending on your view. The ribbon contains several tabs. The File tab opens a special screen called Backstage View, which is primarily concerned with app and file management. We'll cover this in more detail later. Home is where you can perform basic formatting and editing tasks. With the Insert tab, you can add objects and media to the presentation. The Draw tab is on by default for pen or touch-based computers. You can use it to choose pens, brushes, and other tools. In Design, you can add a theme or change the overall appearance of the presentation. Transitions customizes how a slide moves onto the next slide during a presentation. Animations add motion to objects on a slide. This helps to control how items such as bullet points appear on screen during a presentation. Slideshow customizes how the slideshow is presented. Review is where you go to proofread your presentation and work with comments, languages, comparisons, and more. With the View tab, you can change how you're reviewing your presentation and customize the master layout. Come to the Help tab whenever you need to access help and support options. Any tab on the ribbon is divided into groups. For example, the Insert tab contains groups for the following types of objects: slides, tables, images, illustrations, forms, add-ins, links, comments, text, symbols, and media. The ribbon can display in different ways. In the right-hand corner of the ribbon, you can quickly and easily change the ribbon display by clicking the Show Ribbon arrow icon to adjust how the ribbon is viewed. Your choice will remain in effect until you select a different option. Many icons include screen tips. If you mouse over an icon, a box will appear explaining what the command does. This box may also include a link for additional help. Tell me more. Pressing the Alt key causes numbers or letters to appear above each tab and command on the Quick Access toolbar. These are key tips. While key tips are displayed, press the associated number or letter to perform that action. Press Escape or click anywhere to hide key tips. When working with some types of objects, the ribbon will have extra contextual tabs. For instance, when you select an image, the Picture Format tab appears. The contextual tabs have commands relating to the selected object. Here on the Picture tab are all the image-related commands. Once you switch back to working with something else, contextual tabs will disappear. Some groups on a tab have an Option button in their lower right-hand corners. Click an Option button to open a dialog box or task pane with more specific controls or extra commands. The Slides pane gives you a thumbnail view of each slide. The selected slide is shown in the center pane. To work with a different slide, click its thumbnail. You can also right-click a slide to see more editing options. Each slide is numbered, and if the slide features animations or transitions, you will see a star icon just below the slide number. The status bar provides basic information about the presentation. Different icons may appear depending on what you are doing with PowerPoint. Typical items shown here are which slide is active, the language being used, and the accessibility checker information. On the right-hand side, you can see icons to show or hide the notes pane and open display settings. Then there are commands to change the view to Normal, Slide Sorter, Reading View, and Slideshow. The Zoom slider area allows you to control the screen magnification by zooming into or out of the current slide. You can customize the status bar by right-clicking it and selecting additional options to show them or deselecting options to hide them. The File tab opens a special screen called Backstage View. The items here are the same or similar to Backstage commands in the other Microsoft Office applications. With the Home section active, you can create a new presentation or open an existing one. New creates a new blank presentation or a new presentation using a template. Use Open to access presentations from your storage locations. Info shows information and properties or metadata about the presentation. Save will update the current file with any changes made since it was last saved. If the file has not been saved, clicking this command will switch you to the Save As category. Save As, or Save a Copy, if the file has already been saved, allows you to specify the presentation file name and location before saving. Use Print to print the presentation or to preview how the presentation would look if it were printed. You can use the print settings to also print the slide notes or print handouts. Share can share your presentation with others. Use Export to save the presentation as a PDF or XPS file, create a video, create an animated GIF, package it for CD, or create handouts. The Export screen also provides a command to save your file in a different format and an option to publish your presentation to Microsoft Stream. Close will close the current presentation. In Account, you can modify your Microsoft account. Feedback sends your comments or suggestions to Microsoft. In Options, you can control PowerPoint's configuration. To close Backstage View, click the back arrow at the top of the menu. Now let's further explore the PowerPoint user interface as you learn how to create and save your own presentations. You'll discover what a default PowerPoint presentation gives you, use some key features to create your own presentation, and learn how to save a PowerPoint file. The default presentation in Microsoft PowerPoint is a blank presentation. This is what you get when you take the File New Blank Presentation template choice. While this blank presentation is devoid of content, it is not completely empty. It does have some settings enabled. For instance, it comes with several different slide layouts. This helps to quickly build and customize a presentation. Slides may also have placeholders within their layout. A placeholder is a division of a slide that can hold PowerPoint content. For instance, a text placeholder allows you to easily add text just by clicking where indicated and typing. PowerPoint's text editing tools work just like a word processor, allowing you to select, type, delete and move text. You may sometimes see PowerPoint reduce the size of your text to keep it within the allotted space. This is because some text boxes have an auto-fit property enabled. You can resize and reposition a placeholder using the mouse. Some slide layouts may have the placeholder text already formatted with bullets. When you type here, your text is automatically in a bullet point format. You may also see icons inside slide placeholders. Click any icon to insert that type of content. The types of content that insert are table, chart, Smartart graphic, 3D model, local image, online image, video clip, icon. By default, the slide notes pane is not shown. To turn on notes, in the View tab, click Notes. Use notes for team collaboration reminders for your team, as speaker notes to be used during a presentation to an audience, or as extra information for distribution after a talk. Remember that notes can be printed if you need to hand them out to an audience. To add notes, simply click and type into the Notes pane. You can expand or reduce the Notes pane area. Each slide in the presentation has its own separate individual notes area. To save a file for the first time, click File, Save. This opens the Backstage view. On the left-hand side, choose the location where you want your file saved. Then click the specific folder to place the document in, or click Browse to manually choose location. This is the Save As dialog box, since it is the first time you have saved this file. At the top of the window, you can also choose the location where you want to save your file. Underneath that, enter a file name. Finally, choose a file type if desired. The default file type is a PowerPoint presentation with a file extension of .pptx. Click Save to complete the process. A feature called Autosave now saves your file every few seconds. It's enabled by default when your file is stored in OneDrive, OneDrive for Business, or SharePoint Online. The autosave icon is on the Quick Access toolbar. If you ever want to save the file with a different name, location or type, or need to store files with different versions of content, you need to choose the Save as a Copy command. When you are saving different versions of your content, it is recommended to use File, Save a Copy before making your changes. That way, autosave doesn't overwrite the original file with new changes. You've explored how to begin with a default PowerPoint presentation and then use some key features to build, customize, and save the presentation as a PowerPoint file. When you have built a few presentations, you'll need to open them to edit or present slideshows. Access any file you have saved using File, Open. If necessary, on the left-hand side, choose the location that your document is stored in. When you see the presentation you need, just click on its name to open it. You'll learn all about PowerPoint as this course progresses. However, we often need assistance or even a reminder of the steps to take for a particular feature. That is just what PowerPoint Help is for. Let's check how to get help with the search box and how to access advanced help options. Microsoft PowerPoint has a search box on the title bar. Simply click in the search box to use its help features. Before you type anything, search will suggest actions based on what you are doing. Let's locate some help about slide notes. As you type, search finds text in your file, commands, or information about the word notes. At the top of the search results, you will usually see shortcuts to related commands or actions. An action will take you directly to that command. The Find in Document feature displays also and is useful if you are searching for the word notes within our presentation. If you don't see anything you need, you could click on More search results to continue searching for additional information. The option you want right now is in the Get Help On section. Often present is the Expand arrow, where you can hover over to display the found help items, clicking any one to open its details. or simply click in the Get Help On section itself to display the help pane. Click on any of the items in the help pane to display more details. If you find the search box is taking up too much space, you can make it smaller by going to File, Options, General, and under User Interface Options, select the Collapse the Microsoft search box by default option. Click OK to apply. The search box now shows as just the magnifying glass icon. PowerPoint has other ways of accessing help. These are often referred to as the advanced help options, though there is nothing difficult about them. For instance, one advanced option is simply using different parts of the help pane. In the top right-hand corner of the help pane, you see a drop-down menu where you can access commands to move, size, and close the pane. This is the search bar, the same as you saw earlier on the title bar. Within the pane, you can also search for a new topic by typing your word or phrase and pressing Enter. Then click any result to see its detailed help. The Help Back button will reverse back through your help pane history. Here we are back at our original search for help on slide notes. And the home icon brings us to the beginning of help. Essentially, this is like the contents or index of help, and it displays standard help topics and featured help items. As usual, click any help topic to see more details. By clicking items of interest, you get to display further information or step-by-step instructions. Scroll the main part of the help pane to show all the help content relating to your item or search. Help will often show additional drop-downs or hyperlinks. Often when searching for a topic, at the very end of the help pane, there may be a See Also section. It's worth checking if these additional results have anything that interests you. Another advanced help item is the Help tab. The commands in this group are Help to open the start page of the Help task pane, Contact Support to open a task pane to contact Microsoft Support, Feedback to open a feedback response pane, Show Training to open the Help task pane to training links, and What's New to check on the most recent PowerPoint feature update. Now that you've discovered the search box help and the other advanced help options, you can choose your own way to find help as you work in PowerPoint. Now we'll move beyond the basic default presentation and continue developing a PowerPoint presentation to be proud of. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to select a presentation type, build a presentation, lay out a presentation, and view and navigate a presentation. You learned in the last lesson about using and modifying PowerPoint's default blank templates to create a presentation. Thomas at West Cal finds this to be a great way to work. However, he knows there are many more templates available. These templates have different design and content, and he can find some templates that match his presentation topics, giving him an even better starting point. This will be our focus for this first part of the lesson, along with more details about opening presentations with PowerPoint. Let's up your PowerPoint game. A template is a presentation file that contains pre-formatted layouts, graphics, objects, custom color schemes, and sometimes comes with sample text. It provides a framework that saves time and makes building a presentation easier. Templates can be used with other PowerPoint design features to provide even more customization options. Microsoft PowerPoint templates are saved as .potx files. Using a template creates a new presentation without overriding the template contents. Microsoft PowerPoint presentations are saved as .pptx files. There are hundreds of templates that you can use. To start, click File, New. Choose one of the theme-based templates from the main window to get started immediately. Just like Thomas at West Cal, you may be looking for something particular to match your presentation topic. Search using the template search box. Thomas is preparing to present to a professional services client. When you type a search term and press Enter or click the small magnifying glass icon, results will be shown. Click a template icon and click Create in the confirmation box that opens to create a new presentation based on the template. Your presentation will then open and it has a lot more going on than the default blank template. It may be the ideal way for you to get a quick start to your presentation. You've now explored how to begin your session by using a template for a new presentation or opening an existing PowerPoint file. When you have chosen a template, you can start to build the presentation and add content. Let's explore the basic tools used to build your presentation. You'll discover how to choose a slide layout, import slides, reuse another presentation slides, hide, duplicate, and delete slides. There are several ways to add a new slide to your presentation. An easy way is to click the drop-down arrow below the New Slide command on the Home tab and choose the layout you want. The new slide is inserted and ready for you to use and modify. Clicking the New Slide button itself will insert the most recently used slide type. You can also create slides automatically from a Microsoft Word document. To begin, click the New Slide drop-down and choose Slides from Outline. In this Insert Outline dialog box, navigate to your file, select it and click Insert. The slides are created in your presentation. If you already have your data stored in Word, you can have a presentation created almost instantly. As you build more presentations, you will find that you have created slides that you can reuse. This might be simply slides containing your company name and logo, or it could be that you have standardized something like a company introduction and always want to use that sequence of slides at the beginning of all your presentations. Whatever your requirement, you can reuse slides from an existing presentation. To begin, click Home, Reuse Slides. Now, browse to locate and select your file. Here we have a tick box to use or not to use the source formatting. This box is ticked by default, meaning that the imported slide will appear in your presentation formatted as it was in the original file. Unticked, the slide acquires the formatting of the destination presentation, taking on the colors, fonts, backgrounds, and other items dictated by your presentation theme and template. The slides are shown in the Reuse Slides pane. Click the slide or slides that you want to insert. The slides from your other presentation are inserted into this one. They can now be used and modified as required. You can create an exact copy of any slide in your presentation. To do this, right-click the slide thumbnail in the slide pane and click Duplicate Slide. The duplicate is always placed immediately after. The slide pane gives you access to many slide management commands such as copy, hide, and delete. You can even change the slide layout from here. Remember that any command taken here in the slide pane will be related to the slide as a whole. To choose the slide you want to manage, just click in the pane to select it. To select several continuous slides, just click the first one, hold down the keyboard Shift key, and click on the last one. To deselect, click any slide outside your current selection. To select several slides that are not in sequence, click the first slide, hold down the keyboard key Control, click the next slide, and the next, and the next, and when all are selected, leave go the control and choose your command. When multiple slides are selected, the command is applied to all of them. Now that you are building up a set of slides for your presentation, it's time to make some decisions. Will that slide be shown during the presentation or not? You may wish to retain a slide because of its content or because it will be shown in the future, but just don't want it shown right now. In that case, you can hide a slide. Just right-click it in the Slides pane and click Hide Slide. That slide's number will have a slash through it, and the content will be shaded in the Slides pane. The slide is still present, but when you run a slideshow presentation, it will not appear. Notice that the slide can still be edited. To unhide the slide, perform the Hide Slide command again. Hiding slides is one thing, but if you decide that you don't want the slide, just delete it. To delete a slide, right-click it in the Slides pane and click Delete Slide. You've explored several key presentation building features. Next time you're creating a presentation, check if you have existing content that you can use, and don't forget to operate the duplicate, hide, and delete commands when working with your slides. You have built your presentation's framework. Now you can begin to adjust the formatting and layout to suit your content. Let's explore tasks such as how to change a slide's layout to the types of layouts available, change slide size, change and customize a presentation's theme, and customize slide backgrounds. To choose a new layout for a slide, select the slide. Then click the Layout button on the Home tab. You might switch a slide layout to suit what you want to present or to give your presentation some variety of design. There are several standard layouts in most PowerPoint templates. Title slide contains two text placeholders, a title and a subtitle. Title and content has one text placeholder and one content placeholder. This is the one that many users choose since it's generally a good choice for any of your presentation material. Section header contains text placeholders for title and subtitle, often used to divide up parts of a presentation. To content gives you one text placeholder and two content placeholders. Comparison Contains one title text placeholder, two subtitle text placeholders, and two content placeholders. Use title only for just one text placeholder. Blank produces a slide with no placeholders. Content with caption. Contains one title text placeholder, one subtitle text placeholder, and one content placeholder. And picture with caption. Contains a picture placeholder and subtitle and content text placeholders. You may see other layouts depending on the template or presentation. To choose a new layout, click any one to make that layout active for the current slide. You can do this whenever you wish, even with content already on a slide. Layouts, apart from the blank one, have placeholders. Some placeholders are dedicated to a particular content type. This title placeholder will automatically take your text. Other placeholders have several content icons. It's up to you to choose which type of content to insert. PowerPoint uses a widescreen slide size by default. To change the slide size, click Design, Slide Size, and click the size you want. You'll find that the default size of the 16:9 ratio is perfect for most screens. It will also by default be set to landscape orientation. The size and orientation choices are set for the entire presentation, and all slides then conform to the set values. The PowerPoint theme is what controls a presentation's default colors, fonts, and effects. Themes also control the layout and appearance of the default slide layouts. To change the theme, in the Design tab, click the thumbnail in the Themes gallery as I've just done. Or you can click the More arrow to view more themes, then click a thumbnail to apply a theme. The look of objects such as font colors and shape styles is controlled by the theme you choose. Their appearance also depends on the colors, fonts, and effects schemes selected. This makes it easy to change the look of an entire presentation with just a few clicks. Most themes have variants that you can choose from. Access the variants in the Design tab. Each theme is made up of color, font, and effect schemes. Click the More arrow in the Variants group to access commands for these components. Click a theme component to get a list of its options. Then click an item to change that element. Your decision on the choice of theme is best made early. Choosing a different design theme when you already have content in your presentation could result in items rearranging on a slide or cause unpredictable changes to aspects such as color and font. You can also control the slide background options, again from the More arrow in the Variants group. Click Background Styles to view the gallery. Clicking a background thumbnail will apply it to all slides, but you can right-click it to access an option to apply it to selected slides. This means it applies only to the current slide if that's the only one selected. There's also a command to reset the current slide background back to template default. Let's apply the background to all of our slides. If you want to further customize slide backgrounds, click the Format Background command from the Design tab. The Format Background task pane has commands to create a variety of different backgrounds. The background change will apply only to the slide you're on, unless you click the Apply to All button. Use the Reset Background button if you apply a change but decide that you don't like the adjustment. That's how to modify the layout and appearance of your presentations. Now you can change the layout of a few slides, control core settings like slide background, or apply global design changes to your entire presentation. Another key part of developing a PowerPoint presentation is its content. Understanding how to use PowerPoint's basic editing tools will enable you to effectively add content to your presentation and modify it to suit your needs. Westcal is a print and design company. For them, it's vital to get the visual presentation right, but the content of their work is just as important. They deal with everything from small business cards all the way to large user manuals and annual reports. Westcal's job is to ensure all the content is accurate, present, and presentable. Thomas will benefit from learning how to use PowerPoint's basic editing tools because almost all the projects he works on will have to have content modified to suit his clients' needs. On many projects, one of the object types used most often is the text box. This text box object is designed to hold text so that it can be placed anywhere on a slide. You'll see text boxes on many slide layouts, such as these title and subtitle ones. You can also insert a text box object and position it anywhere on any slide. A text box has 4 key elements. The first one to know about is the text area, which is where you type your text. Then this is the outside of the box, as shown by the border. Move the text box by clicking and dragging on the border. The circular arrow handle is used to rotate the text box. And the final element to be aware of is the handles around the box, which are used to resize the text box with a click and drag in the desired direction. You can select the text box object itself with a click on its border. Then once a placeholder or text box is selected, whatever you do next happens to all the box, such as this color fill. To select the text in a text box, click and drag over the text. You also have a Select menu on the Home tab. The default option, Select Objects, is what we have used so far. Select All will select all objects on the slide. Selection pane opens the Selection Task pane. The Selection Task pane shows all objects on the slide. Selected objects will appear shaded. The Select Task pane is most useful when you are dealing with a complex slide where many items overlap. In the Task pane, click an item to select it. Click the eye icon to show or hide that object. Show or hide all objects. Use the arrows at the top of the pane to change the order of the objects. Click the Close X icon to close the selection pane. When working with presentation content, there are many ways to select your text. Here are a few tips and tricks to get you started with selecting text. Select the block of text and then, a simple tip, just start typing. The selected text will be erased and your new text will replace it. Don't forget to use drag and drop techniques. To move text, select the block of text and drag and drop it anywhere else on the slide. You can select any level of text such as a letter, word, phrase, paragraph. This little tip means that you can apply formatting to a single letter the same way you would apply it to an entire paragraph. Some rapid select tricks are: double-click a word to select it, triple-click to select the whole paragraph, and press Ctrl and A to select all text in a text box. To delete a portion of text, select it and press either the backspace or delete keys on your keyboard. A multi-application tip is that you can cut or copy text and paste it into another program, such as Microsoft Word. A simple two-step trick to select items that are not next to each other is to select the first portion of text that you want. Press and hold Ctrl and then select the next portion of text. A great tip to select a large portion of continuous text is to select the first word, hold down the Shift key and select the last word. Now the whole passage is selected. To clear your selection, click anywhere in the slide outside the currently selected item. The mini toolbar is a contextual toolbar that appears when you select text or an object. With text selected, this toolbar is a fast way to apply popular formatting commands. Change the font type and size, nudge font size up or down, indent or outdent text, insert a comment, bold text, italicize text, underline text, change text alignment, text highlight color, click the pull-down arrow for additional colors or to remove highlight, change the font color, click the pull-down arrow for additional colors, click to toggle the format painter. This lets you copy formatting from the selected text and paint it onto another text. That mini toolbar appears when you select or right-click text. When you right-click a different object type, such as this shape, you will get options and toolbars relevant to the object type. Cut, copy and paste are fundamental skills in PowerPoint. Cutting and copying both place the text or object on the clipboard, which will be explored later. Pasting text involves putting that text or object somewhere else. Cut, copy and paste can help us here where the sequence of topics is incorrect. Let's select Wrap Up and click Home. Cut, then click to place the cursor at the bottom of the list and click Home. Paste, and the text is moved. Once you have pasted an object, you will see the paste icon. Click this icon to see some paste options. The options available may vary slightly depending on the pasted item. Use Destination Theme changes the pasted text formatting to match that of the presentation. Keep Source formatting will keep the formatting from the original text. Use Picture to paste the text or object and have it appear as an image. Keep Text Only will change the formatting of the pasted text back to the default font and size and remove any formatting. You can even cut, copy and paste between slides, and do the same between presentations. The cut, copy and paste ability extends to the slides themselves. A feature called Paste Preview is used to give you an idea of how copied objects will look when pasted. These previews display automatically when you place your cursor over a paste option. The clipboard is a location that stores cut and copied items until they are pasted. Normally the clipboard is invisible and can store only one object at a time. However, if you open the Office clipboard with a click of the Options button in the Clipboard group on the Home tab, you can save up to 24 items at a time, see the items and paste them as needed. The Clipboard task pane is where items are shown every time you cut or copy an item. To paste an item from the clipboard, click to place your cursor in the desired location and then click the item that you want to paste. You can also use the drop-down arrow on the items to paste or delete them. Finally, there are Paste All and Clear All buttons at the top of the clipboard. The Options button at the bottom of the clipboard task pane controls how the clipboard operates. To close the clipboard, click the X in the task pane. For even more pasting options, click Home, Paste, Paste Special. In the Paste Special dialog box, you can choose how to paste the current clipboard item. If the content is from an external file, you can also choose to create a link to that file and even display the content as a clickable icon. Many of Microsoft PowerPoint's design options are presented in galleries. For example, on the Shape Format tab, you can see a gallery of styles that can be applied to text boxes and shapes. You can click one of these styles to apply it to the selected object. Use the arrows on the right-hand side to scroll through the gallery and see more options. Or click the More arrow to see the full gallery. Notice that while you are scrolling through options, you will get the live preview feature of that effect applied to the currently selected shape. You'll get live preview on many Microsoft PowerPoint formatting features, such as the font face and size. That's just a quick look at PowerPoint's basic editing tools. You'll have a chance to do some more editing in later lessons. You can access the normal, slide sorter and reading views from the status bar. In the View tab, you have these and other presentation views. The normal view is the view that you have been using. It shows the slides pane on the left-hand side, the currently selected slide is in the editing area, and you have the notes pane if it's enabled. Outline view shows a text-based view of each slide. Slide sorter view provides a thumbnail view of each slide. This is a good way to modify the sequence of slides in your presentation. Notes page view shows you what each slide will look like if printed as a notes page. It shows both the slide content and any notes that have been added. Reading view can be used to deliver your presentation to a small audience or even to review it yourself. It provides a full screen view of your presentation with a few commands on the status bar. The Views tab also contains a Master Views group. Master Views are an advanced way of changing presentation defaults. We won't look further at them on this course. Another group in the View tab has commands to modify the color display of your presentation. By default, presentations will be shown in color. However, you can also choose to show as grayscale or in pure black and white. This can be helpful for an audience with visual impairments. Apply grayscale and the change is immediately applied. The Grayscale tab is displayed. Use its commands to customize the settings for an object in the presentation. To return your presentation to full color display, click Back to Color View on the Grayscale tab. When you have built your presentation, you are ready to present it using Slideshow View. Start a slideshow from the beginning of the presentation or from the current slide. This command is accessible on Quick Access Toolbar and by pressing the keyboard shortcut of Function key 5. With the first command, the slideshow starts in full screen mode, showing the first slide. Now you'll want to move through the slides in your slideshow. Left-clicking advances your presentation by one slide. Right-clicking on a slide will show you a contextual menu with some navigation choices. At the bottom left-hand corner of the slideshow are commands that are dimmed until you move your cursor over them. Navigation options here are Go to Previous Slide or Next Slide. Use the Slide Navigator command to display a thumbnail list of all the slides in your presentation. This is a very quick way to jump back to a previously viewed slide or any other slide when delivering your presentation, as you might do when answering an audience question or providing some revision. Click a slide to start presenting it. To close the Slide Navigator without choosing a slide, press the Escape key. The other commands here are Annotations, Magnifier, Subtitle Toggle, and additional options. Annotations has special tools such as a laser pointer or pen. Use them to draw attention to items on your slide. To magnify part of the presentation, click the magnifier icon. The cursor turns into a magnifying glass with a surrounding mask. Click an area to zoom into it. The area will now be zoomed. Click and drag to change the zoomed area. Press the Escape key on your keyboard to end the magnifier and return to the full slide. With the subtitles toggle icon, you can transcribe your voice into text. The listening pop-up indicates that it is ready for you to speak. You get an almost simultaneous display of the narration as captions on a slide, allowing hearing-impaired audiences to follow the presentation. A click on the subtitles toggle icon again will turn off the subtitling. PowerPoint uses machine learning and artificial intelligence technologies to support different languages. As you speak, PowerPoint listens and detects the language you are using, then constantly displays subtitles. The subtitles settings can be found under the Slideshow tab in the Captions and Subtitles group. The Subtitles Settings drop-down menu gives you more options to customize the subtitles. You can select the spoken language that the presenter will use and the subtitle language that the audience will view. You can also choose the microphone to use and the position to show the subtitles at. On a Windows system, More Settings allows you to change the closed captions settings of your Windows system. During the slideshow, if you want to show a blank screen, press the B key on your keyboard to show a black screen. You might like to do this to direct audience attention away from the presentation to something like a whiteboard or group discussion. You can also press the W key to show a white screen. Pressing the key again returns to your presentation view. There is a special slideshow mode called Presenter View. Presenter View works on a multiple monitor system. It shows the slideshow on one monitor for your audience to view and a special screen with speaker notes and other tools on the second monitor for the speaker to view. Professional conferencing systems, the type you see in meeting rooms, use a projector or large monitor as their second screen. Sometimes Presenter View may have difficulty running in such environments. To enable Presenter View, from the Slideshow tab, check the Presenter View box. When you next present using more than one monitor, you get your presentation on the main screen and a presenter view on the secondary screen. At the top of the presenter screen are commands related to the overall presentation's display. Below that is information about the presentation length as well as options to pause or replay the slide. This shows the slide content, and below this is a toolbar that contains commands for annotations, the slide navigator, the magnifier, black-unblack the screen, the toggle subtitles, and a command for advanced options. This bottom part on the left-hand side shows you what number slide you are viewing, as well as commands to move to the previous or next slide. On the right-hand side, you can see any notes that are in the Notes pane for the current slide. At the top is a preview of the next slide. You can close Presenter View using the normal X icon. When you open a presentation from potentially dangerous locations, such as the internet, PowerPoint opens it in a protected view mode. This prevents malicious content from operating, but in protected view, you can't edit the file. Click Enable Editing to begin working with a file you trust. Otherwise, click File, Close to close the file. PowerPoint can have multiple files open simultaneously. To switch between open PowerPoint presentations, from the View tab, click Switch Windows and click the presentation you want to view. To help develop your presentation, check it in different views on multiple presentation windows, including grayscale and color views, and run it as a slideshow. Use the Presenter View to deliver professional presentations and use the slideshow commands to work with Magnify, Navigate, Subtitle, and more. Well done! You've completed this module. Let's do a quick summary of the topics covered. You explored the main features of the PowerPoint user interface, finding out where and how to choose commands. You discovered how to open, use, and save a PowerPoint presentation. You added text to slides and to slide notes, and you sought help in a few different ways. You began a new presentation by using a template to get a quick start, and reused some existing content by importing and duplicating slides. While working with content, you used text boxes, selecting text, and using commands from the mini toolbar. Then it was time for the main event, the slideshow, where you finished by viewing and navigating a presentation.
Hello, and welcome to Developing a Presentation with Microsoft PowerPoint. In this lesson, you will discover all the PowerPoint tools you need to apply visually engaging text editing techniques, lively bullet points, and appealing backgrounds and outlines for text boxes. You will learn how to use the Dictate feature, how to insert online videos, create screen recordings, and how to make the most of your presentation by accessing the Design Ideas sidebar. Whether inserting graphics from a file on your computer, stock images or online images, you will explore the various different design options available to enhance your chosen pictures and how to add and redesign shapes. Creating word art in Smartart can be a lot of fun. You will discover how to convert text and images to Smartart designs and how to make a pumpkin spice latte using a Smartart funnel design. Finally, you will get up to speed with how to animate elements of your PowerPoint presentations. Can you see a certain beverage-related theme emerging for this module? Hopefully you like coffee. Or at least, hopefully you like what PowerPoint's variety of visual and text design features can achieve with a coffee theme. In this lesson, you will discover how to format characters, paragraphs and text boxes, add graphical elements to a presentation, add Smartart, edit objects in a presentation, along with formatting, grouping and arranging objects. And finally, you will explore animating objects in a PowerPoint presentation. So, grab some coffee and let's get started. One of the most common ways of highlighting key points in your PowerPoint presentation is by formatting text to make it stand out. In this lesson, you will explore how to format characters, format paragraphs and format text boxes. You will also become familiar with how to access some useful tools like the Format Painter, Eyedropper and Dictate function. A newly opened coffee business called Quick Brew wants Grace at Westcal Publishers to create a nice PowerPoint presentation for a local trade fair. Quick Brew also wants Westcal to redesign their company flyer. Take a look at the previous version of the flyer. If you are struggling to process the text and visuals on this flyer, you are not alone. On the front, there is a barely legible tagline, an obscured logo, and a rectangular shaped photograph of what appears to be baked goods. The back of the flyer is not much better. The font is jarring, mismatched, and the text is not well formatted. This is a nice photograph, but it would be easy to assume that the business was advertising pastries instead of coffee. Over the course of the next couple of lessons, you'll explore the various options and elements available in PowerPoint that allowed Westcal to take this flyer and turn it into this. Let's begin with formatting text, which is one of the most common ways of making key points in your presentation stand out. Most of your character formatting options can be found on the font group of the Home tab in your PowerPoint file. On the top row, you will find menus to change the font face and size. You can also nudge the font size up or down. The final command in the top row will clear all formatting from text. On the second row, the commands allow you to apply effects to text, such as bold type, italics, an underline, shadow, and strike through. Next, you will find drop-down menus to adjust character spacing, text case, text highlight, and font color. Finally, the option button in this group opens the font dialog box. You will also find some of these formatting commands on the mini toolbar. This font type doesn't really suit the Quick Brew header. Let's change to something that is easier on the eye. Select the text, and now you can change the font type using either the toolbar that comes up to the right of your text, the drop-down on the ribbon, or the font dialog box. Something like the Calibri font would look more elegant here. When you have finished settling your options, click OK to apply your changes or click Cancel to discard them. Let's create a next line of text underneath the word Quick Brew. This time, let's add a new word art graphic. Click Insert, then Word Art, and a new text box will appear. Simply replace the placeholder text with your text. Notice that you can resize, move, and rotate word art like other objects. You can also customize it using normal formatting commands. To format existing text as word art, begin by selecting the target text. Then click the Shape Format tab and choose a style from the Word Art Styles gallery. You can try out different shape fills, word art styles, text fills, text outlines, and text effects. The Option button in the Word Art Styles group will open the Format Shapes task pane. The Text Options section of this task pane provides advanced formatting options for word art. There is a second slide here that lists some of Quick Brew's services. Again, the font does not look very good. Let's change the font type to align with that of the header text. The Format Painter allows you to copy formatting from one object and apply it to another object. To start, select the text or object with the formatting that you want to copy. In this case, selecting any letter or word will work fine for applying the formatting to another piece of text, though you can also select the entire set of words if you wish. Next, select the Format Painter icon on the Home tab or on the mini toolbar. Now, select the object that you want to apply the formatting to. When you release your cursor, the formatting will be applied. Now that you're familiar with applying word art in PowerPoint, let's progress to converting text to Smartart. Smartart is Microsoft's intelligent way of creating diagrams. To convert existing text to Smartart, select it and select the Home tab. Then convert to Smartart. There are so many layouts here to choose from, including vertical and horizontal bulleted lists, curved, table, and picture lists. Once you have selected a graphic, the text will be converted. Grace in Westcal thought that a continuous picture list or a vertical picture list might be suitable, as she can input some nice graphics in line with the text. Here's a sneak preview of her proposed slides for the list, but you'll discover much more about using Smartart to achieve these effects in PowerPoint in an upcoming lesson. The final character formatting option that we are going to explore is the ability to globally replace fonts. To begin, click Home, Replace, and then Replace Fonts. The Replace Font dialog box will open. Here we can choose the font that we want to replace and what we want to replace it with. Click Replace and PowerPoint will complete the replacement. Would you like to learn how to take a break from typing while PowerPoint's Dictate feature does the work? Next time, you'll discover how to do this and much more about the many formatting options available in PowerPoint. In addition to character formatting options, there are numerous formatting options that you can apply to paragraph text. Westcal are checking out this coffee bean bullet format for their Quick Brew presentation. To add bullets to a list, select a text box or portion of text. Then to apply the default bullets, click the Bullets button on the Home tab. To choose a different type of bullet, click the drop-down arrow next to the Bullets button and then choose the desired style. To create a custom style, click the Bullets and Numbering command in this menu. The Bullets and Numbering dialog box will open to the Bulleted tab. There are so many options to change the format and style of your bullets here. You can change the size, the color. You can even change the bullet to a picture. Why not try a coffee bean bullet? Let's use the icons option to try that out. If you like, you can even change the bullet format to that of a particular type of symbol. Switch to the Numbered tab if you would like to change to a bulleted list. Here, you have the option of a range of numbered styles. In the Paragraph group of the Home tab, you can change the alignment of the text. Simply select the target text or click inside a text box. Then choose one of the alignment commands on the Home tab or the mini toolbar. Each button is a preview of the type of alignment. From left to right, you can choose left, center, or right alignment. Justified alignment is also available on the Home tab. To change how text is aligned in a text box, click the text box to select it. Then click the Align Text command on the Home tab and choose an alignment. The Format Shape task pane contains many different formatting commands for text boxes as well as shapes. It can be opened using many option buttons and commands. The easiest way to open the pane is to right-click the target object and click Format Shape. The Format Shape task pane will open on the right-hand side of the screen. It is divided into two major sections: Shape Options and Text Options. Click the option that matches the object that you are working with. The Fill section allows you to change the colors and lines around the text box. Let's select a different color as the shape fill here, and change the color of the line around the shape also. With Effects, you can apply shadows, reflections, glows, 3D rotation, and so on. You can also change the size, position, and alignment of the text box here. The Text Options section of the Format Shape pane gives the same options. You have all the same options here as you did for the shape options. Change the text color, text outline, apply a special effects such as reflection, shadow, or 3D rotation. Wouldn't it be fantastic to have a PowerPoint feature that suggests a particular set of graphics and style for your presentation based on the text that you type? The Design Ideas feature offers just that. And with Dictate, you can give your fingers a break from typing by simply speaking the text you wish to appear in your slide directly into the presentation itself. To use this fantastic PowerPoint feature, you must have an internet connection and your device must have a microphone. Let's run through these features and more. With the third icon here in the Text Options pane, the AutoFit feature appears. This feature controls how text is fitted into a text box, shape, or other object. Right now, Do Not AutoFit is selected. If additional text is typed into the box, there will be a kind of spillover. To avoid this, simply select Shrink Text on Overflow. This will ensure that all the text appears in the text box. The more you type, the smaller the text will get. Another option with AutoFit is to select Resize Shape to Fit Text, which will make the shape bigger rather than the text smaller. You can also modify the amount of space between the text and the margins of the text box within the Format Shape task pane. Notice that you can also choose to wrap the text in the shape in this subcategory of the task pane. If you uncheck this option, the text will be allowed to overflow outside of the shape. To change the amount of spacing between lines, select the text box and go to the Home tab. Then select the line spacing option on the paragraph section of the ribbon. For more advanced options, click the Line Spacing Options command in this menu. This will open the paragraph dialog box. Here you can customize the alignment, indentation, and spacing for the selected text, including the spacing before and after the paragraphs. You can also separate text using columns. To do this, first place your cursor in the desired text box. Then click Home, Columns, and choose the number of columns to apply. You can also create custom columns with the More Columns command. To change the direction of text, first select a text box or place your cursor inside it. Then click the Text Direction button on the Home tab and choose a direction. The More Options command will open the text box category of the Text Options section of the Format Shape task pane, which you explored previously. To clear the formatting from text and return it to its default state, click the Clear Formatting button on the Home tab. Sometimes you may feel like taking a little break from typing. PowerPoint's Dictate function allows you to use speech-to-text to create content for slides and slide notes without manually typing. Place the cursor at the point where you would like to add text, then select the Dictate button, which is on the right-hand side of the Home tab. Once the Dictate icon, which is shaped like a little microphone, switches into the red-coloured recording icon, you can start speaking. Here it goes, from the best coffee company in town. In this case, simply change the capital F to lowercase once you have finished speaking. But if you would like to insert punctuation, you simply say the type of punctuation you wish to use explicitly. For example, say the words comma or period. Dictate also supports different languages. To select the language you wish to use, click the Dictate drop-down menu and select the language you wish to use to compose. The Design Ideas pane will open on the right-hand side of the document. Browse through the suggestions and double-click one of the layouts to select it. The selected layout will be applied to the slide. If you cannot find a design you like, scroll down to the bottom and select See More Design Ideas. The Design Ideas pane will expand and suggest more layout designs. Finally, let's take a look at PowerPoint's ruler function, which can help you line up objects and organize slides. Go to the View tab on your ribbon and check the box beside the word ruler. You will then see rulers on the top and left-hand sides of the slide window. Markers and shaded areas will show where the selected object is positioned. Now that you can format paragraph text in PowerPoint, next you will discover how to format text boxes as shapes. The final element in formatting text is modifying its containing text box. Changing this shape's fill, adding effects and applying a different format can bring your PowerPoint content to life. For example, you can create fun sketched effects around your text boxes, or maybe a dashed effect like this. PowerPoint comes with a number of pre-formatted styles that you can apply to text boxes and shapes. You can do this from the Home tab. Under Quick Styles, here towards the right-hand side, Or you can also find this gallery on the Shape Format tab. You can use the Shape Fill, Shape Outline and Shape Effects menus on either tab to change those individual aspects of the text box or shape. First, let's look at the Shape Fill command. You can click the button directly to fill the shape with the colour shown, or you can click the drop-down arrow to choose a new colour. More fill colours will bring up this dialog box, which allows you to adjust the shade of the colour or customise the colour to a different tone. Next on this drop-down menu is the eyedropper feature. On selection, a small box will appear, along with an icon of a dropper. By moving your mouse around the slide, you can choose a particular colour as the shape fill for your text box. Let's move to the coffee cup and apply a shade of brown that appears on the top of the liquid. This menu also allows you to apply a picture as a fill for your shape. Let's look up some online pictures of coffee and see how that looks as a background. Interesting. Not very suitable for this particular text, however. The next menu is Shape Outline. Just like the Shape Fill menu, you can click the button directly to outline the shape with the colour shown. Or you can click the drop-down arrow to choose a new colour and to set the style of the outline. You can customise the colour of the line around your text box, apply an eyedropper colour and change the weight of the line around the box. There are some fun line effects here too, such as a sketched line format or a dashed line effect. It's quick and easy to change the shape of your text box too. Simply select Edit Shape on the Shape Format tab and try out a few different options for your text box. In the Shape Effects menu, you can choose a preset effect or various types of effects, including shadows, reflections, glows, soft edges, bevels, and 3D rotations. If you have a preferred text box design, you can set a text box as the default, so that the future text boxes will be created with those settings. To do this, right-click the text box with the desired settings and click Set as Default Shape. The command will immediately be performed with no further actions needed. You can only use the Set as Default command for a text box that you have created yourself using the Insert ribbon. When you choose a new slide from PowerPoint's list, such as this title and subtitle slide, the layout already contains text boxes. These are known as placeholders. Because these are an integral part of the layout and added by PowerPoint, you won't be given the Save as Default option for these particular text boxes when you make the changes to them. In this lesson, you have learned about 3 types of text formatting: character, paragraph, and text box. You should now be able to create appealing, complex text designs to enhance any presentation. Graphics will form a key part of any presentation that you create. You might use images from your computer, pictures from the internet, or even screenshots and screen recordings. You can also create photo albums and diagrams with just a few clicks. In this lesson, you will explore how to insert shapes, insert images, and insert word art. You will also discover how to take screenshots, create screen recordings, and convert images to a Smartart diagram. To insert a picture from a file on your computer, go to the Insert tab, select Pictures, then choose Insert Picture from this device. Grace has a couple of coffee-related images saved in her Pictures folder. She can select more than one photo by holding down the Control button and clicking each image. The pictures will then be added to the slide and the Picture Format tab will be displayed. The Design Ideas sidebar displays also. If this sidebar does not display automatically, go to the Home tab on your ribbon and select the Design Ideas button over to the right-hand side. You can resize an image by choosing one of the design ideas, which will format and resize your images automatically. For now, let's resize an image manually. Click and drag its resizing handles, just as you would to resize a text box. Now, move these images around within the slide. Grace is taking a look at how some of the PowerPoint design idea slides might look with her images. PowerPoint also gives you the option to insert images from stock or online sources. Return to the Insert tab. Let's try a stock image first. Enter the search term and simply click Insert. The Design Ideas sidebar will automatically reformat its suggestions with the addition of a new image. Let's try an online image this time. The Bing browser window will display and you can enter your search term in this field. To avoid any copyright issues, it's best if you ensure that this Creative Commons box is ticked. This means that you are free to use any of the images that are returned on your search, as they are in what is known as the public domain. Once the results have been returned, you can click any image to select it, and click Insert to add it to your presentation. Once again, the design ideas have reformatted to incorporate an additional image. Now, let's discuss a little troubleshooting tip for image distortion. As you can see here, if the picture of the white coffee cups is resized at this level, it appears stretched and distorted. Let's use this image of the filter handle to demonstrate how to maintain the correct proportions. Simply press and hold Shift while you drag the corner sizing handle, and this will ensure that the image does not get distorted. Let's bring this one back to the front. To keep the center in the same place, press and hold Ctrl while you drag the sizing handle. And again, let's bring this one back to the front. No distortion or stretching this time. Grace at Westcal is thinking about adding a video on how to make coffee to her quick brew presentation. Let's run through the steps she needs to take. If you would like to insert an online video, simply go to the Insert tab, then select Video, which is on the right-hand side. On choosing Online Video, this pane will display. It asks you to enter the address, also known as the URL, of the video you would like to insert. A variety of video platforms are aligned with this PowerPoint feature. To avoid any copyright issues, it is best if you review the terms of use and privacy policy of a video provider before inserting it in a presentation. You simply paste the address of your video, and you will then see a preview of this video within the pane. On clicking Insert, the video, along with the play button, will appear in the PowerPoint slide. The Video Format tab displays also. This tab gives a wide variety of style, display and effect options for your inserted video. You can move or position your video by clicking and dragging it also. With PowerPoint's photo album feature, you can add multiple pictures to a presentation file. This feature is designed to help you organize a series of photos for a presentation that will contain a lot of images. You can also use the photo album feature to edit and redesign multiple photos to fit with a particular theme of a presentation, or perhaps to develop as a business flyer. When you create a photo album, PowerPoint will place it in a new presentation, with each photo on its own slide. To start, click Insert, then Photo Album, and New Photo Album. The Photo Album dialog box will open. Select File Disk to choose your photos. The Insert New Pictures dialog box will open. Using the controls in the dialog box, browse to the folder containing your pictures. Hold the Control key and select each picture that you want to use. Finally, click Insert. You will then return to the Photo Album dialog box, where you simply select Create. A new presentation opens. Because Grace is the creator of this album, her name will appear in the title slide. Return to the photo album icon on your ribbon, and you can access a wide variety of editing options by selecting Edit Photo Album in the drop-down menu. For example, to remove a photo, simply tick the checkbox beside that image in the editing box and click Remove. Back in the dialog box, you can shift the positions of the different photos by selecting the image, then clicking on the up or down arrows. If you do not wish the Design Ideas sidebar to continue appearing while you edit your presentation, simply click on Stop Suggesting Ideas until I restart PowerPoint. Other editing options available to you include rotating the photo, increasing and decreasing the contrast, changing the number of photos that appear on the one slide, and choosing a frame shape for photos. You can also choose a theme for your album within the Edit Photo Album box. Select Theme, and a pane displaying Microsoft Windows colors, fonts, effects and themes will appear. Grace is going to try out the organic theme. You can also add text boxes and captions within the Edit Photo Album box. Sometimes you may find a particular screen within a document or a browser window that would look good in your PowerPoint presentation. Or you may find a set of steps within a screen that you would like to add to your presentation as a recording. To create these elements, you simply add a screenshot or a screen recording to your presentation. To start, go to the slide on which you want to place the screenshot. Then click Insert Screenshot. Here you will see many panes of the application windows that are currently open. Click directly on one of these if you wish to create a screenshot from an application window, or create a screen clipping as Grace is going to do here. If you choose screen clipping, the PowerPoint file minimizes and the screen automatically displays the last window you had open. Another way of accessing different windows open on your device is to press the Alt and Tab buttons on your keyboard. Grace's last window was a Bing browser, so she simply selects screen clipping to display this window. PowerPoint minimizes and the displayed window appears opaque. A cross marker also appears. Click and drag this marker, and when you release the cursor, your selected screenshot will appear in PowerPoint as a picture. Once again, the Picture Format tab appears, and this provides all the commands you need for editing your screenshots. You can also add screen recordings to your presentation. To start, select the slide on which you want the recording to appear. Then, click Insert and Screen Recording. A mini command pane comes up at the top of the screen. Using the commands on this pane, you can record your screen, pause or stop the recording, select an area to screen record, use a microphone to record audio, and record the actions of your cursor. When you are ready, click Record on the screen recording toolbar. To stop the recording, you can use the Windows commands displayed in your countdown pane here, or you can simply press the Stop button on the command pane at the top of the screen. And there we go. The screen recording now appears in your selected slide, along with the video format and playback tabs, which provide a range of video editing features for your recordings. A quick and easy way to create well-formatted and engaging visuals from individual images is to convert pictures to a diagram using the Picture Layout feature on your ribbon. Essentially, this feature converts your images into Smartart. With the pictures you would like to convert selected, go to the Picture Layout drop-down on your Picture Format tab. Hover over any of the options in this drop-down to get a preview of the diagram's layout. Maybe a captioned picture diagram would look good with these 3 images. Once you select an option, the Smartart Design and Format tabs will appear. From here, you can apply finer details and effects to your new diagram. Ever felt like striking your presentation with lightning? Or maybe adding speech bubbles, stars or banners? Next up, you'll explore the different types of shapes you can insert to your PowerPoint files. Shapes are geometric objects that can be used for many purposes. In this session, you will learn the basics of inserting shapes into a PowerPoint slide. To insert a shape, navigate to the slide on which you want the shape to appear. Then click the Insert tab and Shapes. You have a variety of shapes to choose from here, including lines, rectangles, basic shapes such as triangles, ovals, crosses and cubes, block arrows, equation shapes, which are useful for presentations involving math, flowchart shapes, stars and banners for fun effects in a presentation, and finally callouts, which are useful if you are creating speech bubbles alongside an illustration or photo. Let's try a lightning shape. Simply click to insert, then drag your cursor in the area that you would like the shape to be inserted. Release the cursor and the shape appears, along with the Shape Format tab. On this tab, you have a variety of options to format and apply effects to your shape. You could choose a theme style or change the shape color by using the menu by the Shape Fill feature. You can change the color of the shape outline and make it more pronounced by changing the weight of the line around the shape. Other effects include applying a shadow, reflection or glow to your shape. You could try a 3D rotation and maybe a beveled effect would look good on this shape also. You can adjust the size of your shape by clicking and dragging on the markers surrounding it. Or you can use the size function to the right-hand side of the ribbon to adjust up or down. To customize the exact form that a particular shape takes, select Edit Shape within the Shape Format tab and click Edit Points. You will see red lines and small black squares around the shape. Click the aspect of the shape that you want to modify. This will display a bar that you can click and drag. These bars operate in a 3-dimensional axis, giving you almost endless shape customization options. Let's go back to the original shape by simply clicking the Undo button at the top of the ribbon. If you do not see the shape that you want to insert, you can also create custom shapes by merging multiple shapes together. First, add the shapes you would like to merge by using the Insert Shapes option. Let's add a rectangle first, and now an oval. Let's change the color of the oval so that the merging of the shapes is more clear. For now, you can move each shape around as it is distinct from the other. To begin, select each shape that you would like to merge by clicking the first shape, then using the Shift command to select the next shape. Once you have selected more than one shape, the Merge Shapes option becomes available on the ribbon. There are a few different ways to merge shapes. The Union option combines entire shapes to make a single unified shape. Combine merges shapes while keeping non-overlapping areas and removing overlapping areas. Fragment separates each overlapping area of the shape and turns them into smaller individual shapes. Intersect keeps only the shape area where all shapes overlap. And finally, Subtract removes the first shape from the second shape. Now that you can format and merge shapes in PowerPoint, next up you'll discover how to add engaging word art to your presentations. Word art is a particular type of decorative text in a PowerPoint presentation. It can be created with an accompanying shape or in a text box by itself. You can see a word art effect in the curved shape and colours of the header text on this slide. Grace is going to add some word art above this image of a coffee cup. She goes to the Insert tab on her ribbon and selects Word Art. There are a variety of styles available in the drop-down, which you can restyle and reformat at a later point if you like. A placeholder text box for your word art will appear. Click into the text box to move it to a different position on your slide, and then simply replace this placeholder text with your own content. She right-clicks on the word Quick Brew just to indicate to the program that this is not a misspelling. Next, Grace is going to change the text fill color. She highlights the text, and on the Shape Format tab, she can choose which color she thinks will look good over this picture of a coffee cup. Looks like she's going with a shade of green to tie in with the color of the cup. You can also change the color of the text outline. Grace is choosing a golden brown color, similar to the coffee. She also changes the weight of the text outline so that the color becomes more prominent. With word art, you have the same text effect options as you do with images and shapes. Grace is also going to add some different effects to the word art. She tries a beveled effect and a 3D rotation. When text within a shape is selected, you also have the option of this fun transform effect. You can follow a path or maybe choose a wrapped circle effect. Grace has gone for an inflation effect, which creates this nice curved shape to the word art. In this lesson, you have learned about inserting images, shapes, word art, screenshots, and more. In your next lesson, you will discover more about Smartart. See you then. Traditionally, graphical representations of data or textual information have been difficult to create. The Smartart feature has been included to facilitate this process, and it gives you a wide range of options to create unique graphics. PowerPoint features a powerful graphic creation tool called Smartart. This tool will help you create graphical representations of text or data and add them into your presentation. Typically, Smartart is used to show hierarchical or relationship information, such as an organizational chart. In this lesson, you will discover how to create Smartart, modify your Smartart creations, and change the look and feel of Smartart graphics. In an earlier lesson, you followed Grace from Westcal as she converted a text box to a continuous picture list using the Convert to Smartart feature on the ribbon. This time, let's run through how to create a Smartart graphic using the Insert tab. To add Smartart to a slide, simply click Insert, then Smartart. The Choose a Smartart graphic dialog box lets you browse through all of the many Smartart graphic options that are available to you. These graphics are organized into several different categories, including lists, processes, cycles, hierarchies, which are excellent for creating organizational charts, pyramids, and more. Clicking a category in the list on the left will display its contents in the center pane of the dialog box. Once a Smartart option is chosen, the center of the dialog box will display a preview of it on the right-hand side. It also provides you with a brief description of what that particular style of graphic is best used for. This description also tells you how much text the diagram will hold. For example, if it says works best with level 1 text only, then the shapes in the diagram are really suitable for only a couple of words. If the description says suitable for level 1 and 2, then it will hold more text. The Smartart that Grace would like to create would be best displayed in a list-style graphic. Grace is going to go for a graphic called Vertical Picture Accent List. Once you choose a graphic and click OK, it will appear on the current slide and the Smartart Design tab will open on your Microsoft PowerPoint ribbon. There are two ways to add text to your graphic. First, you can simply click into the shape and type your text here. Note that as you add text, PowerPoint will automatically adjust the text size to accommodate the shape in which it is placed. The second way to add text is to open the text pane. Go to the left-hand side of the ribbon and simply type your text into this pane as it displays alongside your graphic. There are a variety of editing options available on the Smartart tab. You can change the position of the shapes from right to left, and you can move the shapes up or down. Grace had her list items in the incorrect sequence, so by selecting the up and down options, she can realign her list without needing to retype text. You have a range of style and formatting options on the Smartart tab, including changing the shape's colours using this drop-down menu. Grace has decided to change the colour of the shape and the direction of the shapes in this instance. She's also going to quickly apply a beveled effect by choosing from the Smartart style menu on the tab. Next, she is going to add a couple more shapes so that she can include the rest of the text on her list. Click into a shape in your Smartart graphic and select either Add Shape After or Add Shape Before from the drop-down menu. Again, the size of the shapes and text will reduce as you add more content. Since Grace chose a Picture Smartart list, she must now select images from her computer, from Microsoft stock images or from online sources. She can also choose to use Microsoft icons in this type of Smartart graphic. Grace is going to try out a stock image first, so she enters her search term and then browses through the images available. Next up, you'll see Smartart being used to demonstrate how to make a pumpkin spice latte. One of Quick Brew's most popular products is the pumpkin spice latte. Grace is using a Smartart funnel graphic slide for the Quick Brew presentation. In this lesson, you'll go through the steps she took to create this graphic. Return to the Insert tab and select the Smartart icon. You can then scroll through the variety of options within each Smartart graphic type. Grace is going to choose a funnel plot here, which is on the process list of Smartart graphics. Sometimes it's worthwhile to check the description of the graphic, which appears in the pane on the right of the dialog box. In the case of the funnel graphic, only up to 4 lines of text can be added, so it may be useful to be aware of this before choosing the funnel for a particular context. On selecting OK, the funnel plot will appear at a default size on your slide. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 fields for text available, as the description indicated. You can add text directly into the shape, or you can go to the text pane on your Smartart Design tab and edit the text in the shapes from here. As you are aware from a previous lesson, the size of the text will reduce depending on how much you type. Since the ingredients fuse and filter to create a single product, the pumpkin spice latte, Grace will type this text at the bottom of the funnel underneath the arrow. Remember that you can move shapes up in your graphic using the feature on the Smartart Design tab. Now this blue colour isn't particularly fitting for a graphic about pumpkin spice coffee, so Grace is going to change the accent on the Styles menu here. She's also trying out a 3D and bevel style effect. Now this drop-down menu will allow you to change the style of the graphic as a whole, but if you would like to change the colour and style of an individual shape, just go to the Format tab on your ribbon. Click into the shape you would like to restyle and then select a different colour from the Shape Fill menu. She's changing the coffee shape to a dark brown colour. Looks like the pumpkin puree shape is a good colour as it appears already. Because the funnel shape is to the forefront of the Smartart graphic, to amend shapes behind it, Grace must click into the larger funnel shape and briefly move it to one side. She can now access the cinnamon shape and is changing the fill to a more golden brown colour. And now she can move the funnel shape back into place again by simply dragging the shape until it lines up. Next, Grace is going to change the colour of the funnel itself. Again, simply access the Shape Fill drop-down on your ribbon and choose a colour. Now, Grace is missing an ingredient from this funnel shape recipe. Can you guess what it is? She needs to change the look and feel of this graphic in order to add the ingredient. Let's go back to see how an extra shape can be added to a Smartart graphic. Grace wants to add a new shape, but these options are grayed out on the Smartart Design tab. The reason for this is that the funnel will only allow for 4 fields of text in total. However, there are other options to add text and shapes in this scenario. Go to the Convert icon on the right-hand side of the Smartart Design tab, and you have the option of either converting your graphic to text or converting it to shapes. Selecting Convert to Text will create a text box format for any of the text in your Smartart graphic. If Grace chooses this option, she loses the nice visual elements of her funnel design. She's going to undo that conversion and try copying and pasting a shape inside the funnel plot instead. No, that doesn't work either. The text pane displays and tells her that she cannot add a new shape like this in the funnel graphic. There is another option though, converting the Smartart to shapes. If you choose this option, your Smartart Design tab disappears, and the Shape Format tab takes its place. This is because your graphic is now a group of shapes rather than a singular piece of Smartart. From here, Grace can copy and paste a shape easily, and then move this new shape around by clicking into the shape and dragging it. She also edits the text within this new shape. Ah, of course, milk was the missing ingredient. Did you guess correctly? She can change the fill of her new shape, and there we go. A modified Smartart funnel graphic recipe for pumpkin spiced latte. Now that you are aware of the many different ways you can customize Smartart, WordArt, and other shapes in PowerPoint, in the next lesson you will explore more about how to format pictures. PowerPoint offers some fantastic graphical tools that enable you to create visually engaging and lively presentation content. On this slide, it appears as though the coffee is flowing and steam is rising up. However, this effect is simply a series of PowerPoint animations added together using cropped versions of the same image. This lesson will demonstrate how to achieve effects like this in your own presentations, along with exploring some other neat elements for modifying pictures and objects. In this lesson, you will explore how to edit objects, format objects, group objects, arrange objects, and finally, how to create animations. Sometimes, an object may carry a background area that you would like to delete. For example, this red and grey area towards the back right side of the image doesn't look good with the coffee pods in the foreground. Or maybe you would like to change the colour of a stock image. When you add any type of picture to your presentation, the Picture Format tab appears. Broadly speaking, this tab has the same type of options as the Shape Format tab. There are a few extra effects that can be applied to pictures. Let's run through these as Westcal are formatting the Quick Brew presentation. Start by selecting Remove Background on the left-hand side of the tab, which is an option that allows you to reformat the background of the selected image. On clicking this option, the background area to be removed appears in pink, and the Background Removal tab opens. From here, you can accept the changes that appear in the pink background field by selecting Keep Changes. In the case of this picture, a piece of the background is retained, so you would return to the Remove Background tab, select Mark Areas to Remove, then use your cursor as you would a drawing tool and simply draw around the area that you would like to remove. Select Keep Changes again, and that part of the background you circled has now disappeared. Let's undo that action so that you can view how other picture tools interact with this image of coffee pods. Also, on this area of the ribbon, you have the Corrections feature, which allows you to sharpen, soften, brighten, and provide more contrast to the selected picture. A preview appears as you hover over your various options. You can also change the color of your image in this area of the Picture Format tab, and you can apply some fun artistic effects such as pixelated or mosaic bubble background. You can also make a particular color in the image transparent. Selecting the Picture Options command at the bottom of any of this ribbon's drop-down menus will open the Format Picture task pane over here to the right. Here you can gain finer control of the picture corrections, color and transparency options. Along with editing the colors and effects of your objects, you can choose to crop objects so that only a certain portion of the image appears in your slide. Or perhaps you would like to crop an image to a particular shape. With PowerPoint's crop feature, these actions are quick and easy to achieve. To control the display of the objects on your slide, you can use the selection pane. This feature is on the Home tab of your PowerPoint presentation under the Select drop-down. Choose Selection pane from this list. This pane comes up to the right and it allows you to see the different objects on your slide in list form. Clicking the eyeball icon will make objects disappear, and simply click the icon again if you want to display the object again. Let's leave only one picture on the slide for now and resize this so that the cropping feature will be more clear. To crop an image, go to the Picture Format tab and select the Crop button on the right side. Your regular cropping feature is here at the top, and underneath this you have the option to crop an image to a particular shape. Let's try a hexagon crop here. Click Undo on that action. Now let's try the regular cropping feature. When you select this option, black handles will appear around the edge of the picture. This particular image had been cropped previously, so you actually have the option to expand the image back to its original form with the cropping feature also. Click on the handles and drag the cross markers in or out depending on how you want the image to appear. Then click on the Crop button again. The aspect ratio of the image is the ratio of its width to its height, so you can change this ratio using the Crop drop-down menu here. The Fill command fills the entire shape with the picture. Some outer edges of the picture may be cropped away. There won't be any empty space at the margins of the shape. And finally, the Fit option makes the entire picture fit within the shape while maintaining the picture's original aspect ratio. There may be empty space at the margins of the shape when you select this option. Next up, you'll explore more editing and formatting features that are available in your PowerPoint presentation. The Picture Format tab and its corresponding Format Picture pane provides a variety of features that allow for fine control of object parameters such as height and width. Another option on this Picture Format ribbon that you may find useful on occasion is called Compress Pictures. Sometimes the size of picture files can be quite large, and it is better for everyone's email inbox memory if files are compressed. The first checkbox indicates that these options will apply only to this picture. Uncheck it if you want these settings to apply to all photos in the presentation. The second option allows PowerPoint to delete cropped areas of pictures. Then you have options to set the resolution of the presentation's images in pixels per inch. Normally, you will not need to change these settings, but they can be useful if you need to reduce a presentation's file size to email it or send it to a printer. Once you have set your options, click OK to apply them or click Cancel to discard them. Underneath the Compress option, you have the Change Picture drop-down menu. You can swap out your existing file with a picture saved to your computer, change to a picture from stock images, from online sources, from icons, or from your clipboard. The Reset Picture option simply resets your image back to its original format if you have made any changes. For example, if the color of the background was changed to orange, you would simply select Reset Picture to change it back again. Note that there are two options under this Reset Picture drop-down. The second option is called Reset Picture and Size. Choosing this option will reverse any sizing and cropping changes that you have made to that particular image. You can apply a great variety of frames to the selected image from this drop-down menu in the middle of the Picture Format tab. Let's try a rectangle. You can then change the color of the picture frame or maybe apply a particular effect to make the frame stand out. To rotate a picture, simply click into the marker that appears on the top of the image and drag its position in a circular motion. To resize, you can either hover at the edge of the picture until the black cross marker appears. Then drag this marker inward or outward to resize. Or you can use the height and width options on the right side of the ribbon. You can reposition the images by simply clicking and dragging them with your mouse. Or you can change the size and position by right-clicking on the image, then selecting this option from the drop-down menu that appears. This will once again open your Format Picture pane to the right of the slide, and you can adjust your image size and position from here. Now that you are aware of how to edit and format different objects, next you'll explore grouping and arranging objects within your PowerPoint slides. Once you have arranged shapes and images in your preferred configuration, it is a good idea to group them. This will lock them together in their current configuration. Of course, you can always ungroup them if you want to modify them later. on the Picture Format tab, press and hold down the Control button to select each image that you would like to group. There are markers around all 3 images here, which indicates that they are successfully selected. Then navigate to the Group drop-down on your Picture Format ribbon and simply select Group. One larger marker appears outside the boundaries of the 3 images, which means that all 3 have now been grouped together into one image. You can then move this single image around the slide. Another way to access the grouping option is to right-click and hover on the group option in this drop-down menu. Since these images are already grouped, the only option available right now is to ungroup. Selecting this provides the option to edit each image separately once again. Selecting the group option on your ribbon or your right-click drop-down gives the regroup option this time. And there we go. The margins of the box indicate that all 3 images are now successfully regrouped. Now that you can group objects, next you'll take a look at how to align objects in your presentation. Along with grouping, you may wish to align and rearrange objects in your presentation. Microsoft PowerPoint provides a set of commands to help you arrange objects in various different configurations. Additionally, you can use the guides and grid lines features to help you position objects on a slide. Sometimes you might end up with a stack of images and you would like to change the order in which they appear in the stack or are visible on the slide. In that case, you can use the Bring Forwards and Send Backwards options on your PowerPoint ribbon. Select an image and the Picture Format tab appears. Next, go to the Bring Forward or Send Backwards commands. Let's send this green coffee cup backwards, since it is already at the front. Now, the middle image in the stack of 3 appears at the front. However, the selected picture is still that of the green coffee cup. So, if Bring Forward is clicked again, this picture will come back to the front. Let's try the picture at the very back of the stack. If we simply click on Bring Forward once, PowerPoint will move this image one position up in the stack, which is the middle position in this stack of 3. To get the filter handle to appear right at the front, click Bring to Front on this drop-down. Now let's send it back again. You can also change how your images display by selecting the Align drop-down on the Picture Format tab. This menu gives a variety of alignment options. You can realign each image in the stack one image at a time. Or you can select all images and realign them at once, which is the action performed here by aligning all 3 to the middle of the slide. Simply click anywhere outside of the images to deselect all 3. Another alignment option is called Align to Slide. This option only works on an individual image or a grouped set of images. In the case of the filter handle, selecting Align Top will align this to the top of the slide. Another way to align your shapes is to click into the View tab on your ribbon and tick the boxes that say Grid Lines and Guides. To customize these elements, click the Option button in the Show Group of the View tab. The Grid and Guides dialog box will open. This dialog box allows you to customize the grid, guide settings and snap settings, which automatically aligns objects when they are within a certain range of slide alignment points. You can also set these options as the default for all future presentations. The guides are useful if you would like a quick and easy way to identify if your pictures are aligned well on the slide. These dotted lines and red arrows appear when the different images are at an equal distance from either the slide margins, the center of the slide, and from each other. Next up is one of the more fun features in your PowerPoint files, the Animations tab, where you can make your content bounce, swivel, pulse, spin, shrink, grow, and much more. One of the most visually engaging ways to modify objects in your presentations is to apply animated effects. Take this series of stickmen, for example. They appear to be running. In fact, the effect is achieved by simply applying the animated effects Appear and Disappear to a series of stickmen at different angles. Let's run through the steps you can take to achieve this effect, while Grace at Westcal adds animated elements to her Smartart list of quick brew services. Click on the Animations tab, then on the object that you wish to animate, and choose from a wide variety of fun animations from the menu on the ribbon. You can try a wipe animation, a shape effect, a wheel, or random bars. There is a drop-down menu to the right of these animation effects, which gives you the option to change the direction of the animations and to sequence the effects one by one. Let's try that one by one option on this Smartart list. Now, the random bars effect will appear in this one by one sequence. Maybe a fade effect would look well for this list. The header, "What does QuickBrew offer?" does not yet have any animation effects applied. You can add an animation from the ribbon, and this drop-down will appear. From here, you can layer animations on the same graphic or piece of text. In other words, you can choose more than one animation type for a single element. In contrast, choosing an animation from the gallery on the ribbon does not allow you to layer elements. Selecting an animation from the gallery will replace whichever animation you had chosen initially. There are so many entertaining options for animated entrances, emphasis, exits, and more. Let's apply a zoom entrance on the header text. Now try a spin effect, grow and shrink. And finally, a color pulse. Click on the animation pane button on your ribbon to get a clear view of your effect sequences and timings. Expand the drop-down here to see all animated objects on this slide. Now you can change the timing of the individual objects. For example, you might want the photo circle to come in after the text bar instead of at the same time as the text. You can change the duration of the effect also, which will mean that the effect happens either over a longer or shorter period of time. Adding a delays means that there will be a gap between the timing of the individual objects. As you make these adjustments, the shapes in the animation pane automatically move towards either the left or right, which indicates that your timing changes have been applied. Select the Play From button from the top of the pane to see your adjusted effects in action. For the first two items in the list, the photo appears first, followed by a delay, and then the text bar appears. Since no adjustments were made to the list items lower down, these will still carry the default animation times. The QuickBrew header is animated once all the items have been listed. Let's change the sequence so that the header is animated right at the beginning of the slide's animation instead. Simply click on the text in the animation pane, then select Move Earlier on the ribbon. Now the header animation will appear from the start. In an upcoming module, you will learn much more about how to customize animations within PowerPoint. Over the course of these lessons, you have discovered a multitude of ways to enhance your PowerPoint content presentations using such features as text editing and formatting, adding graphical elements, creating Smartart, and animating objects. Let's recap on what you've learned. You've learned to apply text editing techniques so that your text and visual content would appear cohesive and visually appealing. Grace from Westcal demonstrated how to apply engaging bullet points to your text, along with adding appealing backgrounds and outlines to your text boxes. You discovered how to use the Dictate feature, how to insert online videos, create screen recordings, and how to make the most of your presentation by accessing the Design Ideas sidebar. Whether inserting graphics from a file on your computer, stock images, or online images, you explored the various different design options available to enhance your chosen pictures. You explored the photo album feature and learned how to remove a background from an image. A lightning shape struck as you discovered how to insert and merge shapes. Creating word art and Smartart can be a lot of fun. You discovered how to convert text and images to Smartart designs and how to make a pumpkin spice latte using a Smartart funnel design. You also discovered how to crop, format, group, and arrange objects. And last but not least, you explored the various animation options available in Microsoft PowerPoint, which allow you to create visually meaningful elements for your presentations. You are already well on your way to creating lively, visually appealing animated content in your own presentations. Hello and welcome. You may have attended a PowerPoint presentation that has kept you engaged and thought about how you might be able to create the same experience for your own audience. Microsoft PowerPoint allows you to use images, audio, and video to give your presentation a greater visual impact. Enhancing the appearance of your presentation through the use of multimedia can also help to improve the audience's experience. Maybe you are an employee tasked with creating charts for your company, or perhaps somebody who wants to create a photo or video montage of your parents' anniversary. You could also be busy formatting a presentation for college or work. Whatever presentation you are preparing, this module has something for you. In this module, you'll learn how to add tables, charts, audio and video files, and learn how to customize animations, transitions, and motion paths. So let's get started. Let's begin with Grace. She's an employee of Westcal Publishing. She's been tasked with presenting the quarterly sales figures for the previous 12 months. Grace has a basic understanding of PowerPoint and would like to know more about the features that could enhance the appearance of her presentation. One of the methods you can use to present data is a table in PowerPoint. You can also insert tables from Word or Excel. You'll begin by learning how to create a table. At their most basic, a table is a grid of cells arranged in rows and columns. It's a tool used for various tasks, including presenting text or displaying numerical data. You can even customize tables to fit your presentation. In this basic example, you'll notice information showing sales data for a small company. The top row contains years, followed by the quarterly figures underneath. With the table, the content remains, but the visuals are greatly enhanced, allowing you to go from displaying data like this to this. Your sales data organized in rows and columns in just a few steps. Let's explore how this was completed within PowerPoint. There are different ways of inserting tables into your presentation. Perhaps the easiest method is to choose a slide layout that contains shortcut icons to insert content. Simply click the table icon and you'll be prompted to enter the number of rows and columns you want. In the example, there's 6 rows and 3 columns. So let's enter this and click OK. And that's it. The table's inserted. Another way of inserting a table is by navigating to the Insert tab, Table, Insert Table at the bottom. Again, simply select the rows and columns required and click OK. The final way is by clicking Insert, Table, then in the grid below, hover your mouse over the rows and columns you need. You'll notice a preview on the slide as you do this. Once the correct table dimensions are selected, simply click your mouse button and the table is inserted. When the table is inserted, you'll notice 2 new table tabs created along your ribbon that offer additional choices for the structure and formatting of the table. These will be explored in more detail a little later. To navigate through the cells in a table, simply click in any cell to move directly to it. Once you have typed something into the table, the arrow keys allow you to move through the content and go from cell to cell. If you need to move quickly from one cell to another, you can do this by pressing the Tab key. Great, you've now inserted a table. However, what if you'd like to add more rows and columns? Again, simply select the table, navigate to the Layout tab to the right of the top ribbon. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll find the Rows and Columns section. These buttons allow you to insert additional rows and columns. You simply place your cursor in the cell where the next row or column is to appear. Then, select Insert Right to place a column to the right, or Below to place a row below, etc. Maybe there's too many columns now and one needs to be deleted. Within the Rows and Columns section, you'll also find Delete on the left-hand side. Let's delete the empty row and column just created by selecting the unwanted column, click Delete within the Layout tab, now click Delete Column. You just repeat this process for deleting rows, and that's it. You'll notice there's a large amount of empty space around the table. Let's adjust the size. In the border around the table, you'll notice small handles. These can be used for resizing. Simply click and drag the handles for adjustments. Maybe you want to adjust the size of rows or columns. Just click and drag the separator within the cell, or double-click the separator and PowerPoint automatically fits it to the text within that cell. Sometimes you might have a heading that you want to display across 2 columns. In these cases, you may want to merge the heading into 2 cells. Do this by selecting the cells you need to merge. Then, within the Layout tab, click Merge Cells. Maybe you wanted to reverse this action and split them. Simply select the cell and click Split Cells instead. PowerPoint then asks you for the split configuration. Let's choose 2 columns and 1 row. Now click OK, and that's it. The split is performed. Within the Layout tab, you can also adjust the alignment of the table itself. You'll notice that this table is off-center. To improve this slide visually, let's position this in the center. To do this, first select the table. You'll notice circles on the corners and sides once selected. Then click Align Center and Align Middle. And that's it. The table is now aligned to the center of the slide. Aligning the overall table is different to aligning the contents within a cell. To do this, again, staying within the Layout tab, navigate to the Alignment group. Here you'll find several icons that allow you to position the cell contents in different positions. Let's center the text on this table by selecting the middle and center icons. What if it's decided the table is not needed at all? Select the table again. You'll notice circles on the corners and sides once selected. Pressing Delete on your keyboard removes the whole table. However, always check what you have selected before you press Delete, as you might have only wanted to delete content within certain cells. Great! Now you've learned how to insert tables and adjust them. However, what if you need to adjust it to match your company's color scheme? Next, you'll learn some tips on how to format your table in your presentation. In addition to creating her table, Grace has entered the desired text, columns and rows. Now she needs to match the visual elements of the table to Westcal's formatting standards. How great would it be to have the ability to match the colors and text of a table to meet your own requirements? With PowerPoint's design features, you can accomplish just that. When the table was inserted, 2 tabs were created. These are Table Design and Layout tabs that contain options for adjusting styling, borders, or text in your tables. These tabs only appear when the table is selected. Earlier, within the Layout tab, you explored modifying the rows and columns, merging and splitting the cells, changing how the text is positioned inside the table cells, modifying the size of the table, and how to align the table on the slide. The Layout tab also allows you to control the specific size of the cells and the table size. As the Layout tab was covered, let's focus on the Table Design tab now. This tab contains 4 groups. Table Style options provide tick boxes that give you choices around adding banded columns and rows, which make the table easier to read. Table Styles gives a gallery of choices, a quick way to apply a color and a polished look to the table. You can also use the drop-down to view additional options. Table Styles controls the appearance of the table. With WordArt styles, you can customize text using WordArt, which you learned about in the previous module. And finally, Draw Borders customizes your borders, allowing you to adjust the color and width of the border. The easiest way to give your table a more polished look is through styles. Why not give them a go? Place your cursor inside the table, then click the drop-down within the Table Styles gallery. Now, simply select your preferred choice from the styles within this drop-down. And that's it. The style is now applied. Maybe you want to format the table by hand. For example, changing the background color of a single cell. Simply select the cell to be changed, click the Shading drop-down menu in Table Styles group, and simply set your preferred choice. Now that you have selected a style for your table, let's apply a border. First, select the table or cell the border is to be applied to. Now, choose the correct weight and color from the Draw Borders group. As default, these are set to black and at a standard weight. Then, select the small arrow on the Borders button within the Table Styles group. You'll notice a drop-down list of borders to choose from. Select the preferred choice and that's it. The border is applied immediately. Great! You've now created a table and formatted it within PowerPoint. Next, you'll explore how to add tables from other Microsoft Office applications. What if Grace's table contained more complex data and calculations? A table inserted from PowerPoint may not suit her needs, or you need to show a procedure that was built within Microsoft Word. How would you link it to your presentation? A great PowerPoint feature is the ability to insert objects from other Microsoft applications, including Excel and Word. Let's do a run-through of the process in PowerPoint. For now, let's just cover Excel and Word objects. However, this process applies to almost any type of file or object. You should note that you can insert content and it will exist in PowerPoint and edit it using the Excel object interface. Or you can insert a link to the original document so that if changes are made in the original, updates are made automatically to your PowerPoint as well. Firstly, click the slide where the object's contents are to appear. Now click Insert along your ribbon, an object on the far right to open the Insert Object box. then click the Create from File button. Now browse to the location of your file. Select it and click OK. Next, you return to the Insert Object box. Right now, display the file as link or as an icon are not ticked. Ticking link creates a link back to the original source, while ticking icon creates a simple icon that appears on the slide instead. Just tick the most appropriate and click OK. You'll notice it's immediately inserted. You move or resize it in the same way as any other object. The contents of this object can only be edited in its original application. Right-click on the object, then select Worksheet Object and Edit. To delete the object, simply select it and click Delete on your keyboard. Let's explore an alternative approach by adding a blank Excel spreadsheet to your presentation. Why don't you try this now? First, navigate to the Insert tab, then Table, and Excel Spreadsheet at the bottom. Great! You'll notice a new Excel spreadsheet window displayed. Let's expand this by clicking and dragging on the corner of the window to make it larger and easier to see. Now simply enter the data required into the spreadsheet as if you're working on any Excel window. Once you've added the data, click a blank part of the slide. Your spreadsheet is now included in the presentation. To edit the spreadsheet, just double-click in the box to reopen the Excel interface. Well done! See how user-friendly Microsoft makes their features? So, now that you've explored adding tables and objects into your presentation, why don't you test your knowledge and apply what you've learned? Charts are a key feature of PowerPoint that offers simple formats for displaying information. The line manager at Westcal has asked Grace to create more visual presentations for the audience. Grace needs to learn how to create, format and insert charts that will help deliver the key points clearly. Before exploring how to insert charts from Microsoft Excel, presenting complex data in a spreadsheet on PowerPoint can be overwhelming for audiences. Thankfully, PowerPoint makes it easy to create charts and helps you to illustrate key points in a visually engaging way. Here's a simple chart showing visitor numbers for 3 consecutive years. You'll notice the chart essentially gives a simplified way of viewing key points, such as the visitor number up the left-hand side and the year along the bottom. Let's add a chart in PowerPoint comparing finance figures across 4 quarters. Move to the slide that you want the new slide to follow. Click the Home tab and then click the New Slide button in the Slides group. This action reveals a list of slide layouts. Click one of the slide layouts that include a content placeholder. The content placeholder includes 8 little icons for inserting different types of content. Click the chart icon in the middle of the content placeholder. Another way of accessing charts in PowerPoint is to click the slide where you want the chart located. Then navigate to the Insert tab. Then Chart. Again, this opens the Insert Chart box. In the Open Chart box, choose a chart type from the left-hand side. Then click a specific chart style from the list from the top. You'll notice a preview below the chart styles. Once your options are set, click OK. Doing this opens a Microsoft Excel window on top of the PowerPoint window. To get you started, it contains sample data that you just overwrite with your own information. You can make the source data larger or smaller by adjusting the blue border. You'll notice the Chart Design and Format tabs, as well as a chart in the PowerPoint window. Enter the data in the Excel spreadsheet or paste it from another source, like a PowerPoint table. Once you have finished editing the data, close the Excel window by clicking X. Great! The chart is now created. If you need to make changes to the chart's data, select the chart, navigate to the Chart Design tab along your ribbon, and click either Edit Data or Edit Data in Excel to open a full Excel spreadsheet. You can also right-click on the chart, select Edit Data, and again, either Edit Data or Edit Data in Excel to open the full spreadsheet. As you make changes, PowerPoint updates the chart. Just close the Excel window when you're done. Great! Now that you've successfully added the chart into your presentation, you'll learn how to give it even more impact by using formatting. Now that you have created your chart, you may want to change the color and style. Like other features you've explored, there's multiple ways to customize your charts. Imagine you've built a chart for your company, but need to adjust the coloring to match your company's branding. This is exactly what Grace needs to do to maintain Westcal standards. Let's explore the Chart Design and Format tabs. When inserting the chart, did you notice two new tabs that appeared along your ribbon? These are the Chart Design and Format tabs. Chart Design allows you to change the overall design of the chart or add and remove elements. But any individual element formatting in the chart would be done using Format. Firstly, click on the chart you created. The Chart Design tab now appears. Here you have various group options that you select to change the layout, style, data, and chart type. When you select the chart, you'll notice three icons to the right. These icons open mini task panes for elements, styles, and filters. They provide a fast, easy way to modify basic chart elements and formatting. Let's now change the chart type by clicking the Change Chart Type on the Chart Design tab. This opens the Change Chart Type box. Now choose a new type of chart. Select a specific style and click OK. Great! You've now changed the chart type. Next to Chart Design, you have the Format tab. This allows you to edit parts of the chart by selecting the area in the drop-down. Insert and modify shapes, adjust the styling for selected components, edit the styling for text or adjust its outline and effects, add alternative text to items to assist accessibility for the visually impaired, adjust items within the chart by aligning them, or you can set the specific size of the chart. Let's try changing the layout of the chart. Click Chart Design, then Quick Layout, and choose a new layout. You change the overall appearance of the chart by clicking the Chart Styles Quick command to the right of the chart, and simply choose a new style. Try accessing the Style Gallery now within the Chart Styles group on the Chart Design tab. Just browse through the styles with the up and down arrows to the right of the gallery. The Chart Styles Quick group also contains a color option to the left that modifies the color scheme of the chart you chose. Great! You have used a few PowerPoint features that make creating and formatting charts a piece of cake. Next, you can learn some tips and tricks on how to manipulate the chart. There are times when styling charts may not give you the exact look you want for your presentation. You may want to adjust a particular column or create a border. The first step is to double-click an element of your chart, or choose the element using the drop-down in Current Selection on the Format tab. Once selected, you'll find a Format pane opens up on the right-hand side. The Format pane has different sections and tabs within it. They allow you to adjust colors and borders, add graphical elements like shadows, and adjust where the element appears on the chart. Any adjustments are made immediately. For example, when solid color is clicked, it adjusts immediately to white. Let's adjust the column selected from blue to green. Simply click the required color in the drop-down. Did you notice how the color changed immediately? Once you've set your options, just close the Format pane by pressing X. Great! Now maybe you'd like to specify where the chart is placed on the slide. Let's do this by right-clicking the outer border of the chart. Now, click Format Chart Area at the bottom. Did you notice the Format Chart Area box open on the right-hand side? Like with individual elements, you'll have options here to adjust colors, borders, and add graphical elements like shadows. What about positioning? Staying within this Format pane, select the Size and Position category. Then, click the Position subcategory. Now, simply specify the desired position of the chart. Thankfully, resizing specific elements in PowerPoint is completed in the same way as other objects by simply clicking and dragging the resize handles that you learned about earlier. Let's now run through how you would make the chart as a whole stand out. To do this, first select the chart. Now, click the Format tab. Then, the Shape Effects drop-down menu from the center. Within here are a list of various effects that can be applied. Now choose a desired effect and then select the variation of that effect you wish. Just click the one chosen. Did you notice how the effect is applied immediately? Let's give the chart a final polish by adding a border. Again, this is done in different ways. Double-click the chart to open the options box on the right-hand side and select Borders at the bottom. Or, again selecting the chart, click Format along your ribbon. Then click Shape Outline in the center to show the drop-down menu and simply choose a color. Great, you've now applied a border and customized various elements. You're well on your way to mastering charts in PowerPoint. Imagine that sinking feeling when someone asks you to present a complex chart in PowerPoint that you just created in Excel. Thankfully, PowerPoint has a few options to help you copy or link your chart to your presentation. Let's run through the process of creating a linked chart in PowerPoint from Microsoft Excel. There are a few ways to create a PowerPoint chart with Microsoft Excel data. One approach is to start the Insert Chart process in PowerPoint, and when the Excel window appears, overwrite the sample data by pasting in data you've copied from another Excel file. However, Excel has more complex charts and calculations, so sometimes this is not suitable. In this scenario, the best option is to create a linked chart. To do this, the chart should already have been completed in Excel. Let's start by copying the chart in Excel. Select it by right-clicking and selecting Copy. Now, open PowerPoint and select the slide on which you want the data to be pasted. Click Home, then Paste drop-down arrow. Now select Paste Special. This opens the Paste Special box. Click the Paste Link button. Ensure that Microsoft Excel chart object is selected from the center list and click OK. Great, that's it. The chart is now inserted into your presentation. You should note that you are not able to edit this chart in PowerPoint. Any changes must be made in the source Excel document. However, when the presentation with the linked Excel chart is opened, you get an Update Links box. Say yes and it will update taking any changes into account. You should note that it doesn't continue to update while the presentation is open. If you need to update it manually, you need to use Edit Links information. You can access this by going to File, Info, and the Edit Links option is in the bottom right. So there you have it. You have explored some of the features for creating and formatting charts in PowerPoint. In this lesson, you learned how to add and format charts and link a chart from Microsoft Excel to your presentation. Great work and well done. Now, let's test your knowledge and apply what you've learned. Adding media to presentations happens more often than you think. Maybe you want to add a video to liven up a presentation that's introducing a new product, or showing multiple images and want to add a new dimension to your presentation by adding music. In this scenario, Grace is creating a presentation for a new advertising campaign for Westcal employees. To set the mood, Grace wants background music playing over the introduction slide. Then a video that advertises Westcal is shown on the second slide. So, in this lesson, let's explore how to add audio to a presentation and add video to a presentation. Let's start by adding audio to a presentation. Let's take the scenario of Westcal's new advertising campaign and add background audio to the opening slide to set the scene. Firstly, navigate to the Insert tab. Then Media on the right-hand side. Now select Audio from the drop-down, and then select Audio on My PC. You'll notice the Insert Audio box appears. Simply browse to find the audio file on your local drive. Select the file, and then click Insert. Great, the audio file is now added. You'll notice an icon representing the audio has been placed on the slide. You'll also find playback controls under the icon. These appear when the icon is selected, or you hover over the icon with your mouse cursor. Using these controls is simple. Just click Play to play, or the Move buttons to go back and forward. When you hover over the volume symbol on the right-hand side, a volume controller appears. You can also click on the symbol to mute the audio. Did you notice when the audio icon is selected, two new tabs appear in the top right? These control several additional options for the audio. Let's run through the Audio Format tab first, starting with Adjust, which allows you to modify the icon used to display the sound, even to a personal picture on your device. Picture Styles allows you to apply visual styles to the icon. For example, you can make it a circle to have it look like a button. Arrange lets you adjust the positioning and alignment of the icon. For example, if you have multiple objects like other audio files or pictures in your slide, you may want to align them in a particular way. And finally, Size. This lets you crop and resize the audio icon. Now, let's explore playback. Firstly, Preview allows you to play the clip to test it. Bookmarks allows you to note specific places in the audio track. This allows you to go to a particular point in the recording. You can even start the playback from that bookmark. In the Editing group, you can trim the audio file or adjust the fade. Audio Options allows you to control when an audio clip starts. For example, you might want to start as soon as the slide comes up in the presentation, or maybe you want to be able to click to start the sound. And finally, in Audio Style, the No Style button resets the choices for playback back to default, and the Play in Background button allows the audio clip to continue playing throughout the presentation. Let's discover how to trim the audio file. Staying within the Playback tab, click Trim Audio from the Editing group. This opens the Trim Audio box. You'll notice a timeline displayed in the center showing the length of the audio file. A light blue marker showing the current playback starts moving when the play is selected. At the beginning and the end, you'll find a green and red marker. You drag these to adjust when the clip starts or ends. You should note that this tool doesn't allow you to cut audio from the middle and splice the remaining pieces together. You can only trim from the beginning or the end. Under the timeline, you'll find a Play, Next and Previous button. Once you've finished trimming, simply click OK. PowerPoint supports numerous file formats that you can use in your presentations. To read a full list of supported types, navigate to the Help ribbon. Click on Help and then type Supported Sound Formats into the search bar in the Help pane. Great! That's inserting audio explored. Next, you'll have an opportunity to add videos to your own presentation. You'll be happy to hear that adding videos follows a similar process to adding audio. Imagine attending a presentation where the presenter stops their presentation to find the video they would like to share with the audience. With PowerPoint, you can insert the video into the slide so that it plays directly from your presentation. As with audio, PowerPoint supports numerous file types that you can use in your presentations. To find a full list of supported types, simply run a search within the Help ribbon like what was covered earlier. In this scenario, Grace has moved on to the second slide in her deck. This is where she'll add the Westcal advertisement video. Let's try adding this in PowerPoint. Firstly, select the slide where the video is required. Then navigate to the Insert tab. Now, Media on the right-hand side, and select Video in the drop-down. Here you have a choice. You can add a video from an online source or from your own device. For the purposes of this lesson, let's select Stock Videos. Simply scroll until you find a suitable video, select it, and click Insert. Great! You'll find that the video is immediately embedded in the slide. Like other objects you interacted with, you can resize or reposition the video by using the handles on the corners. You should note that adding a video into your presentation can impact significantly on the size of your PowerPoint file, which could affect the presentation being sent by email. Did you notice the additional tabs in the top right that appeared when the video was inserted? As with audio, these control several additional options for the video. The first one, Video Format, has options for controlling the way the video appears in your presentation. Starting with Preview, which allows you to test the video by playing it immediately. Or Adjust, which gives options for applying color corrections, brightness, etc. You also have Video Styles, which customizes borders, effects, and lets you change the video shape. And Accessibility, which offers the alt text option for describing the video to help people who are visually impaired. If you have multiple items including other videos or images, Arrange lets you stack or align them so they don't overlap each other. And finally, Size, which allows you to crop the video's edges and change the physical size of the video. The second tab is Playback. This has similar features to the Playback tab in audio that you covered earlier, except with video you have Video Options, which lets you adjust specific items like playing in full screen or hiding the video when it's not being played. And you also have Captions, which lets you insert captions into the video. Another great feature of PowerPoint is poster frames. This option applies still images to a video frame whenever the video is not being played. It's useful when the first frame is not of good quality or not suitable. Let's apply one now. First, click the Video Format tab, then Poster Frame in the Adjust group on the left. Here you have a choice. Use the current video frame being displayed, which is inserted immediately, or choose one from your device. Let's select from your device and use a stock image for now. Then simply select the picture and click Insert. Now when you click away from the video, the image chosen is displayed until you click the play button. Trimming the video follows the exact same process as trimming audio. You complete this through Playback tab, then Trim Video. As with audio, this tool only allows you to trim from the beginning or the end. Well done! You've now learned how to add audio and videos to your presentations. What's even better is how user-friendly Microsoft have made these processes for you. Now let's test your knowledge and apply what you've learned. Animations can be used to help illustrate the progress of a presentation or highlight key points. While animations may seem like minor improvements, they improve the visuals and flow of information being presented. In an earlier module, you discovered how to add animations to PowerPoint. However, what if Grace is tasked by her line manager with testing animations on an existing presentation? In this lesson, let's explore how to customize animations through the Animation pane, explore the Timing group, and add motion paths. Let's start with customizing animations. You already learned how to add animations. However, what if the animation is not timed correctly? Or you need content on the slide to appear separately? How would you control the flow? Let's explore the Animation pane, which controls the timing and structure of applied animations. In this example, you have the first slide of a health and safety presentation. Currently, all the objectives will appear at once when you click. You can see this because all the animation indicators have the same number in them. Let's explore the Animation pane for this slide in PowerPoint. The first step you take is to open the Animation pane. Navigate to Animations along the top ribbon. Then Animation pane. You'll notice the Animation pane opens on the right-hand side. Here you can see which animations are applied to this slide. The icon indicates the animation category. The green star indicates an entrance effect. At the top of the pane is the Play All command. Clicking this plays the animations in its current setting. You'll also find small arrows on the right-hand side. These allow you to change what position each animation appears on the slide. The small green bars to the right of each animation represent the length of time that animation lasts. At the bottom of the pane, you find the Seconds drop-down menu. This is used to zoom in or out of the timeline, or used to scroll through the timeline when there are multiple animations. With animations, you also have the ability to add a sound effect. To do this, navigate to the Effect Options box. First, select the target animation in the Animation pane, then click the Option button in the lower right-hand corner of the animation group. Once open, the Effect Options box shows the name of the animation in the title bar. Typically, within this Options box, you'll see 2 or 3 tabs that allow you to add an effect or adjust the timing. You'll see a third tab if you are animating specific types of content, for example, charts or Smartart diagrams. Let's try adding a sound by clicking the Sound drop-down command. Now choose one of the sound clips that are listed. Once a sound is selected, click the sound icon to set the volume for this sound. When you are done, click OK to apply. Great! You've now learned about animation effects like entrances and exits, and also added sound to make your PowerPoint presentation more dynamic. Next, you'll explore motion paths and the timing group. Now, let's discover how to control these animations by using the timing group in the Animations tab. Taking our earlier example of the health and safety presentation, currently all the objectives appear at once. Let's run through the process of having them appear one at a time. Let's first select the 4 objectives that need adjusting. Now navigate to the Animations tab. On the right-hand side, you'll find the timing group. The first item you'll notice is the Start drop-down. This allows you to choose when each animation occurs. You've 3 options here. On click, this starts the animation when you click the slide. With previous, starts the animation at the same time as the previous animation. And after previous, the animation starts immediately after the previous animation. In this case, the presenter wants to control when each object animates, so let's select On Click for these items. The duration box sets how long the animation lasts. Let's leave this at 0.50. You also have a delay box which delays the animation. This is useful where you want a time gap between animations taking place. Finally, when you have an object chosen that has an animation applied, you can change the order of when the animation takes place by using the Move Earlier or Move Later commands. Since these items have been changed to On Click, you'll notice to the left of the object sequential numbers have appeared. This indicates the order in which the animations take place. Now let's preview this via slideshow. You'll notice now that only the first line appears. The rest do not appear until the mouse cursor is clicked. Let's look at a different scenario. What if the Westcal logo starts in the middle of the page? How can you move this out of the way before the objectives start animating in? This is accomplished through a PowerPoint feature called Motion Paths. They allow you to move objects along a designated path at a specified time. Let's apply one in PowerPoint. Begin by selecting the Westcal logo. This is the item you want to apply the motion path to. Now, navigate to Animations and click the drop-down arrow in the Animation group for a full list of animations. Then, just scroll to the bottom to find Motion Paths. For this example, click Lines. That's it. The motion paths applied. You'll notice the logo moves immediately downwards and a line has been created. The line has green and red ends. The green end represents the beginning of the motion path, while the red represents the end. As standard, it's been set to move downward. Let's change this by clicking and dragging the red end into the place that you want the logo to finish. Now, navigate to the Animation pane and select the logo animation. It's right here at the bottom. In this instance, we want the logo to automatically move after the first line animates in. So, use the arrows at the top of the pane to move this earlier. And now in the Start drop-down, select After Previous. Great. Let's preview these animations in full now. Select Play All from within this animation pane. You'll notice how the first line is already placed with the logo. Then the logo moves to the right, allowing the objectives to be clicked onto the screen. Great! You've now discovered numerous features Microsoft PowerPoint offers for enhancing presentation appearances. You learned to enhance your slides using different types of media and how to add and customize animations. You also explored tables and charts. Let's recap what you've learned. You started by learning how to enhance figures and statistics by creating a table within PowerPoint. You then learned how to format tables by exploring the Layout and Design tabs. You also learned how to insert Excel spreadsheets and other documents directly into presentations. Then you moved on to creating charts and learned how they are better for presenting complex data. Next, you explored the various chart formatting options available, including choosing a new layout, selecting a new chart style, and modifying the various elements of the chart. You then discovered how to insert a chart directly from Excel. You added video and audio to presentations and learned how to format them to suit your needs. In the final lesson, you customized animations and worked with the timing group and animation pane, before finally applying a motion path to a slide and formatting its timing. Well done. You are well on your way to creating great presentations. Now you've covered enhancing the appearance of your presentation. Why don't you test your knowledge and apply what you've learned?
Welcome to the first lesson in this module on preparing to deliver a presentation. Over the course of this module, you'll explore how to prepare and deliver a presentation using Microsoft PowerPoint. By the time you reach the end of this first lesson, you'll be able to review a PowerPoint presentation, apply transitions to your slides, print a presentation in a variety of formats, and deliver a presentation using your desktop. And as you progress through the other lessons in this module, you'll discover how to add comments to a presentation, create and manage sections within your presentation, modify your presentation slide masters and layouts, annotate a slideshow, set up a slideshow, add hyperlinks and action buttons to your presentation, and finally, record a presentation. Westcal create dozens of presentations every year. Many of their presentations are promotional campaigns focused on attracting new business. One of their more recent presentations is designed to attract students to use their printing services. Throughout the lessons in this module, you'll follow both Thomas and Grace as they prepare presentations for delivery. You'll see how they prepare their presentations, collaborate with others, customize their design templates and slideshows. In this first lesson, you'll follow Grace as she prepares her presentation for delivery. You'll also help her out along the way using your new skill set by offering her advice. So, what are you waiting for? Time to get started. Picture yourself in the following situation. You've completed your presentation and you're ready to deliver it to your audience. But have you checked for spelling mistakes? What about grammar issues? You can't deliver a presentation in which you've misspelled Microsoft on every other slide. Imagine the embarrassment. But thankfully, with Microsoft PowerPoint, you can use the review tools to fine-tune your presentation before delivery to make sure these worst-case scenarios never happen. There's several useful tools in PowerPoint for reviewing a presentation and preparing it for delivery. Here's just some of the actions that can be performed with these tools. You can use the autocorrect feature to catch common typo and grammatical errors, review spelling and grammar issues highlighted by the spell checker features, discover more about a selected word or phrase with Smart Lookup, and utilize the thesaurus to quickly find synonyms for a word. Grace needs to review her presentation using these tools. Check in on her progress so far and see if you can help her out. Grace is delivering this year's presentation to promote Westcal's printing services within colleges and universities. Before she can deliver the presentation, she first needs to prepare it. This means reviewing the presentation, printing hard copies, and then delivering it as required. Grace has begun reviewing her slides to catch any spelling or grammar issues that might be in the text. To start off, here's a look at catching spelling and grammar errors with autocorrect. PowerPoint can correct typos and grammatical errors using autocorrect. Corrections are indicated by a blue bar underneath the correction. When you hover over the bar, you'll see a lightning flash symbol. The drop-down choice lets you reverse the autocorrection that PowerPoint has made. You can also modify the feature by clicking the blue bar underneath the correction and selecting Control Autocorrect Options. This opens the autocorrect dialog box for your current language. You can also open the dialog box by clicking the Autocorrect Options button in the Proofing category of the PowerPoint Options dialog box. There are 4 tabs in the dialog box: Autocorrect, Auto Format as you type, Actions, and Math Autocorrect. With the Autocorrect tab, you can enable or disable common autocorrect actions. The list at the bottom of the tab contains common misspellings that PowerPoint will recognize and correct. If a mistake that you often make is not listed, you can add it here so that PowerPoint will catch it. Then, going forward, PowerPoint will recognize and correct that mistake for you. For example, if Replace Text as you type is checked, then Word will automatically replace characters with symbols and fix common typing errors like replacing don't with do not. This could be useful for Grace if she's alerted to some last-minute text changes during her presentation review. The actions in the Auto Format as you type tab expand on the options from the Autocorrect tab. Here you can specify if you would like PowerPoint to perform more complex formatting as you type in your presentation. Microsoft PowerPoint can recognize and interact with certain elements of your document, such as the date and measurements. The Actions tab lets you enable, disable, and customize those actions. The Math Autocorrect tab is useful if you frequently use equations for math, physics, chemistry, or other applications. PowerPoint features several symbols and functions that you can insert by typing a code, like open bracket C and close bracket, which produces the copyright symbol. PowerPoint users like yourself and Grace can also review a presentation using the spell checker feature. The spell checker checks for misspelled words. By default, Microsoft PowerPoint marks spelling errors with a red underline. You can right-click the underlined item to see commands for fixing that error and performing more spelling-related actions. To run a full spell check, click Review, Spelling, and then the spelling icon on the status bar. You can also use the F7 shortcut key. This opens the spelling task pane and shows the first detected spelling error. The error itself will also be selected in the editing window. The task pane shows the identified error along with suggestions for fixing it. You can use the options at the top to ignore one or all instances of this error or add the word to the dictionary. Below the suggestion, there are commands to fix one or all instances of this error using the suggested correction. At the bottom, you will see a definition or synonyms for the word if a dictionary is installed. You can also click the speaker icon to have PowerPoint pronounce the word for you. Finally, you can choose your proofing language using the menu at the bottom of the pane. After you correct an error, PowerPoint will move through each subsequent error in the presentation. Once the last error is addressed, PowerPoint will let you know that the spell check is complete. Keep in mind that PowerPoint spell checker is not foolproof. It could miss errors or identify correctly spelled words, particularly proper names, as incorrect. Always proofread your presentation yourself. Smart Lookup can offer you all kinds of information about a selected word or phrase. To begin, select the text you want to look up and click Review. Then click the Search command on the Insights group of the Review tab or the right-click menu. This opens the Search task pane, which displays information about the selected text. You may be prompted to accept a privacy statement first. You can scroll down to view more results and pictures from websites. The next feature is the Thesaurus feature. You can use this feature to find synonyms for almost any word in your presentation. To quickly find synonyms for a word, right-click the chosen word and select Synonyms. To replace the word that you clicked, click any synonym. If you prefer to use the full thesaurus, you can click the Thesaurus command in the right-click menu, use the Shift and F7 shortcut, or click Review and then Thesaurus. Now the Thesaurus task pane will open so that you can find an appropriate synonym. At the top of the task pane, you can enter a search term and press Enter to perform a search. The results of your search will be displayed in the main area of the task pane. You can click a word to search for it or right-click it for options. At the bottom of the task pane, you can choose the language you want to use. Like any other task pane, the Thesaurus task pane can be resized or moved. When you have finished working with it, click X to close it. You now know how to use the review tools to finalize your presentation so you catch spelling and grammar mistakes and other issues before it's sent out for delivery. Wow, your next presentations are going to look very professional. Have you ever encountered projects where you can't open files that you've downloaded or received over email? And likewise, you've probably sent out files to people only to be told that they can't figure out how to open them. Often these problems arise out of simple compatibility and accessibility issues. For example, maybe the team member can't open your file because they're trying to access it on an older version of PowerPoint that's no longer supported. So how do you work around these issues? You can use the review tools within Microsoft PowerPoint to check the compatibility and accessibility of a presentation. A presentation can be saved for an older version of Microsoft PowerPoint or upgraded for a more recent one using the compatibility features. And the Check Accessibility feature can be used to review a document for issues that might impact on users with disabilities. Over at Westcal, Grace is using the review tools within Microsoft PowerPoint to check the compatibility and accessibility of her presentation before she sends it out to other members of the team for a final review. She needs to use PowerPoint's compatibility tools to make sure that her team members can open the file once they receive it. And she must also run an accessibility check so that colleagues with disabilities can follow it, such as those with visual impairments. Grace can use the compatibility checker to save an older version of Microsoft PowerPoint to share with her colleagues, as can any user of Microsoft PowerPoint. To start the process, click File, Info, Check for Issues, and Check Compatibility. PowerPoint will scan your presentation for possible issues. It will then let you know what elements are incompatible and how you can deal with them when saving your presentation. Some problems will have a solution. Others are simply items of which you need to be aware. Once you reviewed the issues, click OK. You can now decide what changes should be made before you save your document. Microsoft 365 PowerPoint can open many different file formats. For example, you might receive some PowerPoint presentations in PPT format, the format used by Microsoft PowerPoint 97, 2000 or XP, and 2003. If any of Grace's colleagues view her PowerPoint presentation in an older, compatible format, they'll see the words Compatibility Mode in the title bar. If a PowerPoint presentation opens in this mode, then certain features such as animations or Smartart diagrams may not display correctly in the presentation. You can upgrade the presentation to the newest file format by clicking File, Info, and Convert. Then choose a location and a name for the presentation. Finally, click Save. The presentation will then be saved in the new file format. Microsoft 365 PowerPoint also comes with a tool to help you check your document for possible accessibility issues. This is great for Westcal, as some of the students Grace will be presenting to might have disabilities or impairments. To begin checking for accessibility issues, click File, Info, Check for Issues, and Check Accessibility. You will be returned to the presentation. The Accessibility task pane will then be displayed on the right-hand side of your screen. Its contents will be divided into 3 sections. You can click on any issue to go to that object and view more information about the related problem in the Accessibility task pane. The Errors section lists items in the presentation that people with disabilities will not be able to access. This includes manual formatting, objects that do not have alternate text, and tables that do not have header rows. Alternate text is a description you can add to any graphic element that can be read by a screen reader to tell a visually impaired user what the graphic shows. The Warning section lists items in the presentation that people with disabilities will find difficult to access. This can include blank characters, awkward table formatting, long headings, and hyperlinks that do not have screen tips. Finally, the Tips section of the Accessibility Checker will give you additional information on ways that you can improve the accessibility of your presentation even further. This includes the use of closed captions and proper slide order. You're now familiar with how to check the compatibility and accessibility of your presentations. Nicely done. How often have you been forced to sit through a boring PowerPoint presentation where every slide looks just like the one that came before it? I'm sure you'd like to avoid this with your own presentations. Thankfully, with Microsoft PowerPoint's transition feature, you can add some visual excitement to your presentations. But what are transitions? And how can you use them to liven up your presentations? With PowerPoint's transition feature, you can customize how slides transition into each other. In other words, how one slide changes into the next. The options offered by PowerPoint are almost endless. You can use transitions in PowerPoint to choose from a huge range of different styles of transitions to apply to your presentation, create unique behaviors for your chosen transitions with effect options, customize the timings of your transition, add fun sound effects, and preview your transitions to see what they'll look like when published. Over at Westcal, Grace has sent her presentation to her colleagues and they've just completed their reviews. Some of them have commented that the presentation itself wasn't really all that exciting to view. They suggested that maybe Grace could use some transitions to add a bit of visual engagement. Grace's colleagues have given her some good advice. Transitions would be a great way to liven up her presentation. So how can Grace and other PowerPoint users apply transitions to a presentation? Check out this tutorial and then see if you can help her out. To apply a transition from the gallery, first select the slide you want to modify from the Slides pane. Then, click the Transitions tab and choose a transition from the gallery. Once you choose the transition, you can see a quick preview in the editing window. If you don't see any transitions that you like, click the up or down arrow to show different thumbnails in the gallery. Or you can use the More arrow to expand the entire gallery. To remove a transition from a slide, choose the None option from the gallery. To set a transition to all slides, first set your options and then click the Apply to All command on the Transitions tab. Keep in mind that if the presentation is very long, then too many transitions will slow down delivery of the presentation or bore the viewer. Be careful too, as some of the more complex ones, like Vortex, might trigger photosensitivity. If you look at the Slides pane, the star icon indicates which slides have a transition or animation. Once you've decided on your transition, you can then set Effect options. Once the transition is applied, the Effect options button is enabled. This button expands into a menu that will show different customization options depending on the transition selected. For example, here are the options for the shape effect. Simply click the Effect options command and choose your customization. However, bear in mind that there are several transitions which can't be customized in this way, like dissolve or flash. Once you've added your transitions, you can use PowerPoint to customize the timings. In the duration field on the Transitions tab, you can enter how many seconds long you want the transition to be, or you can use the Advanced Slide options to choose when to move to the next slide. These timing options might be useful if you want your presentation to play automatically. The default choice is on mouse click or the related shortcuts. However, you can also choose after and enter a time in minutes, seconds, or parts of seconds down to hundredths of a second. The final option available to you is adding a sound to your transition. A mix of transition effects, timings, and sound effects can help to really boost your PowerPoint into something special. To add a sound effect, click the Sound menu and choose an option. You can choose between No Sound for a silent slide, or Stop Previous Sound to cut the sound from the previous slide. You can also select various built-in sounds and preview each one by moving your mouse over the sound's name. You can choose Other Sound to upload your own sound file. And finally, there's Loop until next sound. This option plays the selected sound until the next sound in the presentation is triggered. Now that you've created your masterpiece transitions, you need to make sure that they work as intended. And you can do this using PowerPoint's Preview tool. When you choose options from the Transitions to this slide group, using a thumbnail from the gallery or the Effect Options menu, PowerPoint will automatically show you a preview. To preview the transition manually, you can switch to Slideshow View, or just click the Preview command on the Transitions tab. You will then see a preview of the transitions as it will appear in the slideshow. You now know how to apply transitions to your slides. I can't wait to see how you make use of transitions to liven up your next presentation. Imagine that you've created a presentation to pitch a new product or service within your company. You might have a lot of slides with complex graphs or data that you need to get through quickly. You could give hard copies out to attendees before the presentation begins. They could then use these as reference to follow along. There are loads of different ways to produce a hard copy of your presentation. For example, you can print only the slides you need using the Selected Slides feature, print each slide on its own page using full page slides, or add multiple slides to a page using the Handouts option. Print just the basic outline of your slides, and finally, you can also print slides with associated notes. Over at Westcal, Grace has finished the final review round for her presentation. She must now print the presentation so that she can provide copies of it to potential customers. This way, the hard copies can also function as promotional material. Take a look at how to print a presentation, then see if you can help her out. To begin with, here's an overview of the print commands available in Microsoft PowerPoint. First, there's the Print Your Presentation command. To print, click File, then Print, or use the Ctrl and P shortcut. This will open the Print category of Backstage View. The left-hand side of the window contains a pane of printing commands. At the top of this pane is the main Print button. Next to this button, you can choose how many copies of the presentation you want to print. In the next section, you can customize the printout by choosing the printer and modifying various settings. Settings that you can modify include the range, format, collation, and color scale. The range is where you manually enter the slide numbers to print. To print individual slides, enter the slide numbers separated by a comma. 2 slide numbers separated by a colon would mean that PowerPoint would print that block of slides. On the right-hand side of the window, you can see a preview of the presentation. Below this, you will find commands to navigate through the presentation and change the zoom level. You can also add the Quick Print command to the Quick Access toolbar, which will automatically send one copy of the presentation to the printer with the default settings. As you've already seen, you can use PowerPoint to print selected slides from your presentation. Here's a quick look at the different processes. The first menu in the settings area of the print category allows you to print only the selected slides. You can also choose the custom range option from this menu and manually enter the slide numbers to print. By default, PowerPoint will print each slide on its own page, which will look like this. This is the first option in the second menu in the settings section. To print handouts, click the second drop-down menu in the print category of Backstage View. Then choose the type of handouts that you want to create. You can also choose to print an outline from this menu. Finally, you can also print slides with the associated notes. If the slide does not contain notes, then blank space will be provided. You're now up to speed with the different ways to which you can create and distribute hard copies of your presentation. Excellent work. Once you've finished reviewing your presentation, it's time for the final step, delivery. But what if you need to deliver the presentation online? Maybe you need to hide certain slides depending on your audience. Or you might want to start your presentation from a particular slide. You can perform all of these functions and more with Microsoft PowerPoint. Grace has completed the final review of her presentation and is now ready to deliver it to the local college. However, she receives a last-minute call from the college asking if she could present online instead of over a Microsoft Teams meeting. They would also like a PDF copy of the presentation that they can distribute to students. With Microsoft PowerPoint, Grace can deliver her presentation online and convert it into a PDF copy. Take a few minutes to find out how and then see if you can help her out. PowerPoint offers users many different presentation options and it can export to several file formats. The first presentation option is From Beginning. You can use this option to present the show starting with the first slide. With the From Current Slide option, you can start the show from the currently active slide. Finally, you can use the Custom Slideshow option to present a customized version of the presentation that only shows certain slides. As you've seen with the example of Grace and the local college, there might be times when you need to save your presentation in a different file format, like a PNG. To save your presentation in a different file format, click File, Export, and change file type. Then choose the desired file type from the available list on the right-hand side and click Save As. The Save As dialog box opens and you can then save your file as normal. Are you familiar with PDF and XPS? These are two other useful file formats that you can convert your presentations to. These file formats place data in a document that can be opened on many different operating systems, and it should look the same across all platforms. To save the PowerPoint presentation in one of these formats, click File, then Export, then Create PDF or XPS document and Create PDF or XPS. The Publish as PDF or XPS dialog box will open. Here you can choose a location for the file, specify a name, and choose whether you want to create a PDF or XPS file. Click Publish to complete the process. You can now deliver a presentation in several different ways and export it in a number of different file formats. Good work. Welcome to this lesson on collaborating on a presentation. In this lesson, you'll explore how to collaborate with others on a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Microsoft PowerPoint offers users a large variety of collaboration tools for working together on presentations. With PowerPoint's collaboration tools, users can compare multiple versions of presentations, add comments and markups, and share presentations across OneDrive and PowerPoint Online. By the end of this lesson, you'll be familiar with these tools and be able to add comments and other markups to a presentation, perform a review of a presentation, store and share presentations on cloud services like OneDrive, and manage presentations by changing names, saved locations, and exploring version histories. Over at Westcal, Thomas is collaborating with his teammates on a client presentation. As part of this collaboration, the team need to review drafts of each other's work using PowerPoint's Comments feature. All copies of the presentation also need to be stored and shared on the web. Thomas has created a draft presentation and sent it to the team for review. Several of the reviewers have added comments to the PowerPoint. Thomas now needs to redraft his presentation and work through the reviewer comments. Why don't you take some time to find out how comments work, then see if you can help Thomas implement his. Comments are the best and easiest way to collaborate with others on a presentation. They're small messages that can be added to any part of a presentation by either the author or a reviewer. Comments are hidden when a presentation is being shown or printed, but they're visible to anyone who opens the presentation for editing. Comments are usually used to add feedback or instructions to change some aspect of the presentation. There's a lot you can do with comments in PowerPoint. For example, you can insert comments in a presentation, interact with the comment pane, edit comments within a presentation, navigate through comments, and delete comments from a presentation. As you've seen, comments are small messages that can be appended to any part of a presentation. To add a comment, first select the slide or object to which you want to add a comment. Then click Review and New Comment. The Comments task pane opens on the right side of the PowerPoint 365 window. Inside of this pane will be an individual comment box with your name and when the comment was created. A comment icon also appears next to the selected object. The name shown here is set in the General category of the PowerPoint Options dialog box. You can't edit the date or the name information, but you can type the body of your comment inside the box. After you have finished with the comment, you can then close the Comments task pane and the comment icon will remain on the presentation. Clicking this icon again will automatically display the Comments task pane. Here's a closer look at the Comments pane and the commands that it offers. The Comments pane lists any comments that exist on the currently displayed slide. In this example, you can see that the current slide has one comment. You can reply to an existing comment by typing inside the reply text box that appears just below it. And you can add new comments to the current slide by clicking the New button. Once you have finished with the Comments pane, you can close this pane by clicking the Close button in the upper right-hand corner. But what happens to a comment once it's been added to a presentation? What if you need to add some extra information to the comment as part of your review? Is your original comment locked in? Not quite. Thankfully, even after you've added a comment to a presentation, you can still edit its contents. To edit a comment, just click it to open the Comments pane. Then click on the ellipsis and choose Edit. This highlights the comment and reveals the text box. Now you can edit the comment as required. Once you've added your comment, press the Post Comment button. A presentation can include dozens or even hundreds of comments spread throughout countless slides. So how do you navigate your way through all of these? You can navigate through comments using PowerPoint's Previous and Next commands. Clicking Review and then Next displays the next comment in the presentation. If the first slide is selected, then the first comment in the presentation will also automatically be selected. Clicking Review and then Previous works in the reverse direction by selecting the comment before the currently selected one. Bear in mind that these commands are unavailable if there's no comments in your presentation. What happens if you add a comment to a presentation but later decide that it's no longer relevant? Or maybe you need to create a clean copy of a presentation without any comments in it. This is where the Delete command comes in useful. To delete a single comment, first select the comment. Then click Review and Delete. You can also click the ellipsis on a comment and select Delete Thread to remove a comment and its related replies. To delete all comments in a presentation, click Review, Delete, and then delete all comments in this presentation. If you choose to delete all markup on the current slide, the action will be performed immediately. If you choose to delete all comments in the presentation, you will be asked to confirm your action. The comment is then deleted once you click Yes. You now know how to work with comments in a presentation. I'm looking forward to seeing the results of your collaborations. Developing presentations is often a group effort that involves the whole team working together on the same files. Microsoft PowerPoint offers loads of collaboration tools to help teams build great presentations. These include powerful co-authoring capabilities. Are you familiar with the concept of co-authoring? Here's a quick overview. Co-authoring allows multiple authors to work on the same presentation simultaneously. The feature works by storing a copy of the presentation on a server, which can then keep track of each edit that each user makes. This allows for every author of the presentation to see what changes have been made to the presentation, who made them, and when. Additionally, changes made by separate authors can be combined or reversed. So what kind of co-authoring features are available in Microsoft PowerPoint? With Microsoft PowerPoint, authors can show or hide markups in PowerPoint, compare one version of a presentation against another, review all revisions made within a presentation, navigate the commands within the Compare group on the Review tab, and implement review decisions by combining two different versions of a presentation. Over at Westcal, Thomas is reviewing a draft presentation from one of his teammates. He needs to check it against his version of the same presentation. Then he needs to leave comments and markups within the file. Find out more about how to review a presentation, then check back in with Thomas and give him some guidance. To begin with, here's a look at markups in PowerPoint 365. A markup refers to any comments or annotations that have been added to a presentation. Markups are helpful when collaborating with others and offering feedback, but they can sometimes get in the way. In these instances, you can temporarily hide markups until you need to view them again. To show or hide a markup, click Review, Show Comments, then Show Markup. If the Show Markup options includes a check mark, this indicates that markup is being shown. If there's no check mark visible, then it means that the markup is hidden. Next up is an exploration of the co-authoring feature. While PowerPoint's co-authoring feature can offer a smoother and more efficient collaboration process, you can also collaborate with others without having to use a server. For example, if you have two people working on the same presentation, like Thomas and his colleague, each person can apply their changes to the original copy made by the other person. You can then compare those two versions against each other. From there, you can then choose to accept or reject each change. To compare two presentations, first open the original file, then click Review and Compare. The Choose File to Merge with Current Presentation dialog box will be displayed. Use the controls in this dialog box to browse to the edited presentation. Select the presentation and click Merge. You will then see the original presentation with the Revisions pane open, showing the changes made. Here's a closer look at the Revisions pane. After the comparison has been performed, each slide's revisions will have corresponding indicators in the Slide Changes section of the Revisions pane, as well as on the slide itself in the form of change icons. Any presentation-wide changes, such as a new style or the deletion of slides, will also be listed inside the Revisions pane inside the Presentation Changes section. So how can you review these changes and decide which ones to keep and which to reject? You can work through changes made in the presentation using the commands in the Compare group on the Review tab. Inside the Compare group, you can find commands to compare presentations, manage changes, and complete a review of those changes. With the Compare command, you can compare the current presentation to another file of your choice. The Accept drop-down command is used to accept individual changes, all changes on the current slide, or all changes found in the presentation. The Reject drop-down command is used in the opposite way. Using this command, you can reject individual changes, all changes on the current slide, or all changes found in the current presentation. Click the Previous or Next buttons to navigate through each change in a presentation. The Reviewing pane button will hide or show the Revisions pane. Finally, click the End Review command to save the accepted and rejected changes and end the comparison process. Once you have finished the review process, you can implement your respective accept and reject decisions by combining them. To do this, click Review and then End Review. This action will display a dialog box that will ask you to confirm if you want to end the review. Once you click Yes, all markups will be applied to the original presentation file or discarded as appropriate. You're now familiar with the different tools that can be used to help your colleagues create great presentations. Nowadays, many companies and teams work over cloud services for reasons like cutting down on server costs, facilitating remote working, or because these services offer enhanced security. Cloud services are great for storing and sharing documents. You can access items from anywhere once you have a web connection. Microsoft OneDrive is Microsoft's online file storage service. You can sign up for a free account by logging on to Microsoft.com and searching for Free Office to find the link. It is available to anyone with a Microsoft account and allows users to store, sync, and share files with other users online. You can access these files using your browser or through your OS or operating system if you use Windows 8 or later. Over at Westcal, Thomas has completed a review of his teammate's presentation draft. Now he needs to upload the review copy to Westcal's OneDrive for Business server so that the rest of the team can download it. With OneDrive for Business, Thomas and his teammates can co-author documents from different geographic locations by storing and sharing copies of their presentation on the web. But how does OneDrive work? The first option to explore is the Save to OneDrive option. OneDrive support has been integrated into most Office applications, which means that you can save your presentations directly to the web. To do this, click File, Save As, and then OneDrive. Then select a location in OneDrive to save your file to. If you're not currently signed into OneDrive, or if you are saving to OneDrive for the first time, you will need to click the Sign In button. This action will open a dialog box where you can enter your Microsoft account username. Click Next to continue. Once you have logged in, your presentation is then saved to a folder inside your OneDrive account. You can share the presentation with others and access it online from this folder. But what if the computer that you are using doesn't have PowerPoint installed? No problem. You can use the PowerPoint online web application to view and edit presentations that have been saved to your OneDrive account. All you need is a web browser and access to your Microsoft account. Once you've logged into your account, click the Microsoft Apps button in the top left-hand corner of the web page window. Then click PowerPoint. With PowerPoint Online open, you can create a new presentation by choosing from the selection of templates available. Once a template has been clicked, it will open for editing, just like when working with PowerPoint 365 desktop application. You can also access PowerPoint presentations from the OneDrive Online app. Open the app from your Microsoft 365 homepage. Locate and select the PowerPoint file you want to open. A new tab will open. A preview of the presentation will be shown. You can use this to present the presentation as a slideshow. You can now edit the PowerPoint file you just opened. Although PowerPoint Online includes many options and can be used to display a presentation, it doesn't have the same feature set as the PowerPoint desktop application. So you should only rely on PowerPoint Online to make basic edits to your presentation. What if you have a presentation open in PowerPoint Online and you want to access the desktop features? Easy. You can just follow these steps to open the presentation on your desktop. To edit and open PowerPoint Online presentation in the PowerPoint desktop application, simply click Open in Desktop App on the ribbon list. Click Yes if asked by a dialog box to confirm this action. PowerPoint will open on your desktop and display the current presentation on your screen. Note that the file may open as read-only, requiring you to click Edit Anyway to start working with the file. Even though you're working with the desktop version of PowerPoint, any changes that you make will be automatically saved to the online file. This means you can use the desktop app without having to worry about version control. When you are finished working with the desktop version of PowerPoint, you can simply close the program by clicking File, then Close. You can then return to your internet browser. If prompted, click Resume Editing here. You will now be working with the updated version of your presentation. So you've created a presentation using PowerPoint Online. But how do you move a copy of this presentation to your desktop? One simple way to copy a file to your local computer is to open OneDrive in your browser. Then navigate to the file you want to copy. Right-click on the file and select Download from the option list. Your file will be saved to the folder you have configured to receive downloaded files, typically the Downloads folder in Windows 10. To open the downloaded file from your browser, click Open File under the file name in the list of downloaded files at the bottom of the window. If your presentation is already open in PowerPoint Online, you can also click File, Save As, and then download a copy with the same result. You might be wondering what happens if you begin working on a downloaded file on your desktop. How do you make sure that this file syncs with the online version? Microsoft OneDrive provides the functionality to sync files between your local computer and online. If you add or change files or folders in your OneDrive folder on your local computer, those files or folders are added or changed on your OneDrive website and vice versa. This is a good strategy to ensure you are always working on the most up-to-date files and to ensure you have access to your files, even when you are offline. Next, imagine the following scenario. You're working from home, but your internet connection is running into difficulty. As a temporary solution, you copy a presentation from OneDrive to your desktop so that you can work on it offline. But when you reach the end of your working day, the original presentation that you copied needs to be updated to reflect the changes that you've made. So how do you sync these two copies? There are two ways to upload a presentation to OneDrive. The simplest method is to drag and drop the file from either File Explorer or your desktop to the OneDrive window. You can also click on the Upload button in the OneDrive window and click Files. This will launch the Open dialog box. From here, you can locate and select the presentation you would like to upload. To complete the upload process, click Open. The presentation is uploaded and can now be accessed from the OneDrive window. You're now familiar with storing and sharing documents using Microsoft OneDrive service. Next time you collaborate in a project, you'll be able to send and receive presentations like a pro. Have you ever had difficulty managing a file in Microsoft Office? Maybe you've had to make some last-minute changes to its location on the server or alter its name to reflect a new update. Or maybe you had to search for an older version of the project and salvage some discarded changes. When you make changes in PowerPoint files, you should know that the desktop version of PowerPoint is synced with PowerPoint Online. This means that any changes made in the desktop app are then reflected on the server. Here's a look at some of the features you can deploy in PowerPoint for desktop. Identify where a file is saved on the server, change a file's save location, rename a presentation, and access a file's version history to view or restore an older version. Thomas is making use of PowerPoint's version history feature at Westcal. He's almost finished collaborating on a presentation with his colleagues. As part of the final few steps, he now needs to finalize the file name and move it to the production folder. He also needs to check it against an older version to make sure that all review comments were enacted. Find out how these features work, then see if you can help out Thomas. As you've seen when working in PowerPoint Online, all presentations are stored either on OneDrive, OneDrive for Business, or a SharePoint site. In each instance, the presentation is saved automatically as you work. And if you edit your file using the PowerPoint desktop application, the file will continue to be automatically saved to the same location. But how do you locate where a file has been saved? You can identify within the desktop application where a file has been saved by clicking on the file name at the top of the PowerPoint window. A dialog box appears indicating the file name and the location. You can also rename the file by editing the text in the file name field. What if you begin working on a file in one location and then need to move it later? Perhaps your current file is a work-in-progress version and you now need to move it to a review folder. You can easily move files around a server using PowerPoint for Desktop. To move a file, first click on the location field. The Choose a Location dialog box will open, asking you to choose a location. Navigate through the folders on OneDrive by either clicking on the up arrow to go up one level or click the folders in the window to go down a level. Click Move here to confirm the location to which you want to move the file. The file is then moved to your chosen location. When co-authoring a file, you can often find yourself backtracking over edits to figure out when a change was made. To make this process easier, PowerPoint for Desktop also provides a useful version history feature, as you just discovered a few moments ago. With version history, you can view a complete history of different versions of your selected file. To see a history of your file versions, click Version History. The Version History task pane will display on the right side of your window and will list the following information: the saved versions of the file, a brief description of the activity, the name of the user who saved the changes, and the date and time it was saved. If a version of the file has been saved and is still available, you can open it by clicking an Open Version beneath the version description. The version will then be opened as a separate file in the PowerPoint desktop application. To restore the most recent document to the previous version, click Restore below the ribbon. The presentation will be restored to the previous version. You now know how to make key changes to a presentation using PowerPoint for Desktop. You'll be managing presentations across your team in no time. Welcome to the next lesson in this course. In this lesson, you'll discover how to customize design templates in Microsoft PowerPoint. Microsoft PowerPoint includes a range of design templates for enhancing the appearance of your presentation. There's limitless potential in PowerPoint to create any kind of design you like. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to create and manage sections in a presentation, customize a presentation by modifying slide masters and slide layouts, add headers and footers, and modify the Notes Master and the Handout Master. To get started, see how they're making use of custom templates over at Westcal. Grace is creating a new PowerPoint template for Westcal's client presentations. The template needs to contain sections along with a header and a footer for key information. And there also needs to be a wide selection of slide masters and layouts, so that there's a visual variety between presentations. Grace can create this template using the customization options in Microsoft PowerPoint. And the best place for her to start is with creating and managing sections. Sections are basically structural units that are used to group similar slides together. This lets users apply changes to a group of slides all at once rather than one at a time. Sections can also be used to organize a presentation. In PowerPoint, sections are managed from the Home tab and the Slides pane. There are a number of actions that you can take with sections. For example, you can create new sections within your presentation, view sections using the collapse feature, move slides and sections around your presentation as needed, and remove or delete a section while retaining the slides that it contains. Time to check back in with Grace and see how she's progressing. Grace has begun building a structure for her template. She has decided that the basics of this structure will be a series of sections that will hold related slides together. Grace can build and manage these sections using PowerPoint. So how can Grace, or another user like yourself, create and manage sections in Microsoft PowerPoint? To create a section, first decide which of your slides is the start of the section, or group select all of the slides that you want included in the section. Next, click Home, Section, then Add Section. A Rename Section dialog box will pop up. Inside the provided field, you can then enter a new section name. Click Rename to apply the change. But if you don't want to rename the section at this point, just click X to close the dialog box. If you decide not to name your section, then the Slides pane shows a divider with the name Untitled Section before the currently selected slide. If you decide to rename this section later, just right-click its header and click Rename Section. This action will redisplay the Rename Section dialog box. When creating presentations and templates, you'll often find yourself working with a lot of different sections. It can be difficult to navigate through these sections, especially if they all contain a lot of slides. This is where Microsoft PowerPoint's Collapse feature comes in useful. You can use the Collapse feature to hide sections when you're not using them. To collapse a section, click the arrow to the left of the section name. Once a section has been collapsed, you can expand it again by clicking the same arrow. You can expand or collapse all sections within a presentation using the commands in the Section drop-down menu on the Home tab. Imagine you're working on a section within a presentation, but you then realize that some of its slides are incorrect and should be in a different section. How can you fix this? Do you have to rebuild the slides all over again? Thankfully, with Microsoft PowerPoint, you can simply drag and drop slides between sections as needed. To move slides between different sections, just select the slides you need and then drag and drop them into place. You can also reorganize entire sections by clicking their section headers and then dragging and dropping them into place. This process will automatically collapse all sections within your presentation while you're completing the action. This makes it easier to move them around. Here's a scenario for you. You sent your PowerPoint template to a colleague for review and they've just sent over their feedback. They want you to remove the final section in your presentation and merge its slides with another section. So how can you remove this final section without losing the slides? To remove a section without deleting the slides it contains, right-click the section header and click Remove Section. The section is removed, but the slides remain in your presentation. But what if you want to delete the slides that a section contains, along with the section itself? To remove everything within a section, use the Remove Section and Slides command in the same menu. If there is more than one section in a presentation, then the Remove Section command will be unavailable when right-clicking the first section in the presentation. If there is only one section in the presentation, then this command will still be available. You can also find these commands in the Section menu on the Home tab while a section is selected. You can now use Microsoft PowerPoint to create, view and delete sections within a presentation, as well as move or alter slides and sections. Great work! I'm looking forward to seeing how you make use of sections in your next presentation. Building customized templates in Microsoft PowerPoint can take a long time. So how can you make the process quick and easy for yourself? With the help of Slide Masters and Slide Layouts. These features let you quickly and easily customize and edit slides when building presentations. Slide Masters are used to set the layout, text and theme settings for the slides within a presentation. Any changes that you make to a slide master affect every slide in a presentation that was based on the master that you are using. This system allows you to tweak a presentation much more quickly, as you can simply make changes to the slide master rather than each slide individually. With the help of Slide Masters, Microsoft PowerPoint users can create and manage new and existing master slides, manage commands from the Slide Master tab, work with custom slide layouts, add background images or styles to slides, and create and manage custom themes. Over at Westcal, Grace is in the middle of developing a PowerPoint presentation template. She needs to create several master slides that can be reused throughout the template. She also needs to add the company's logo as a background image. Grace can use Microsoft PowerPoint's Slide Master features to create the template for Westcal. Next up is a brief overview of how the Slide Master feature works. Once you're up to speed with it, see if you can give Grace some guidance with her template. The Slide Master view can be used to view Slide Master commands and create and edit Slide Masters. To open Slide Master view, click View and then Slide Master. This will display all Slide Masters and open a new Slide Master tab. The Slide Master tab comes in on the left-hand side of the ribbon area to show that it is changing things at a deeper level. For example, Slide Master actions change the entire presentation or set new defaults. This tab is contextual in that it only appears in this view, but it also remains open until you close it or switch to another editing view within your presentation. The Slides pane will display all the master slides in the current presentation. Each Slide Master is marked by a number to its left. Slide Masters are also larger than the other slides. The individual slide layouts in that master will appear underneath it. Any changes made to the larger Slide Master slides at the top will automatically apply to all the other layouts. If you want to adjust a single layout, highlight it first before making changes. When you do this, the changes will apply only to that layout. Opening the Slide Master reveals the Slide Master groups and their commands. Here's a quick overview of each group and the commands it offers. Once you've opened the Slide Master tab, you can access the commands for creating and editing Slide Masters. The Edit Master group commands are used to manage Slide Masters and their related slide layouts. With the Master Layout command, you can add and edit placeholders for the current slide layout. Use the Edit Theme group commands to select a pre-built theme. You can also create your own theme with unique colors, fonts, and effects. Themes applied to a Slide Master will be applied to all associated layout slides. Themes will also override any custom changes you have made. The Background command is used to apply a background to the slide layout or the Slide Master. Browse the background styles and click one to add it. You can also click Format Background to create your own. Use the Size command to specify slide dimensions as well as slide orientation, either portrait or landscape. Finally, you can use the Click Close Master View command to close the Slide Master tab and the Master View. The Slide Master tab will also close if you switch to another master view or back to normal editing view. Next is Custom Slide Layouts. To get a better understanding of custom slide layouts, consider this scenario. You've been tasked with creating a custom slide for a client. The client wants an image of their logo in the background of each slide. So how can you build these slides? You can add the requested background image using custom slide layouts. Each new blank presentation contains one Slide Master and 11 layout slides. For example, here we have opened the Slide Master tab and selected the Title Layout slide. If we add a background style to this layout slide, we can see the changes in the layout slide and in the slides pane. If we then close the Slide Master tab and return to the regular presentation, this change to the slide layout will immediately be applied to all slides that use that layout. The change will also be reflected in the new slide gallery. If you want to create a new blank layout, click Slide Master, then Insert Layout while in Slide Master view. PowerPoint will add a new generic slide layout. You can now add and modify placeholders and style the slide as you see fit. You can add several different background styles to a slide layout, including background images like in our scenario. To add a background image to a slide layout, first select the Slide Master or layout that you would like to work with. Then click Slide Master, Background Styles, and Format Background. This action will open the Format Background task pane. Inside this pane, click the Picture or Texture Fill Radio button under the Fill section title. You can now add a fill to the slide or replace any existing ones. The Format Background task pane then shows all the controls related to the selected option. Under the Picture Source section header, you can choose a background image that resides on your computer's clipboard, or you can insert from multiple sources. Selecting Insert will open a pop-up dialog box. For this example, we will select From a File button, which opens the Insert Picture dialog box. Using this, you can find a picture on your PC, select it, and then click the Insert button. The selected image will now be the background for the selected slide or all slides if you have the master selected. To return to our earlier example, what if the client also requested that each slide had the same theme as well as background image? With Microsoft PowerPoint, you can build custom themes for your presentations that include custom fonts, colors, and effects. Once you have customized a theme, you can then save the entire package as a custom theme. Just click the Save Current Theme option from the Themes gallery on the Design tab or the Slide Master tab. A Save dialog box appears. Enter the new name for the theme. Then click Save to apply. All your saved custom themes are shown in the Custom section of the Themes gallery. You now know how to work with slide masters and layouts to apply consistent designs and layouts in your presentation. So next time someone needs a custom slideshow, you're the one they can turn to. There are times when you could be asked to create a presentation that contains similar information repeated on every slide, like the time and date, slide numbers, or the title. This information is usually contained in either the header or the footer portion of a document. Do you know what headers and footers are? Footers are content placeholders that can be added to the bottom of slides as well as notes and handouts, while headers are added to the top. These placeholders can hold any kind of content, but they are typically used to include basic information such as the presentation title, slide number, or the current date. Over at Westcal, Grace is putting the finishing touches to her PowerPoint template. Westcal have requested that the template contain the title, time, and date on each slide. Grace has decided to include the presentation title in the header and to add the time and date to the footer. So now you know what headers and footers are and how they're used. Here's an overview of how to work with them in PowerPoint. Once you've viewed it, see if you can help Grace. You can add headers and footers to a presentation by opening the Insert tab and then selecting Header and Footer. You can also click the Date and Time or Slide Number commands on the Insert tab to open the Header and Footer dialog box. Select a command to open the Header and Footer dialog box. The dialog box contains two tabs, Slide and Notes and Handouts. The Slide tab lets you control what appears in the footer of each slide. For example, you can include the date and time, slide numbers, or custom footer text. The Notes and Handouts tab lets you control the headers and footers for those elements. It includes many of the same controls from the previous tab, but it also includes a header field. When you have major changes, click Apply to All on the appropriate tab of the dialog box. The dialog box will close and your changes will be applied to each slide in the presentation. You're now up to speed with using headers and footers to add information to slides in your presentation. Be sure to make good use of them in your future presentations. A PowerPoint presentation can contain a lot of information outside of what's shown to your audience. For example, maybe the last presentation you created has headers and footers that contain important information like dates. Or maybe you've added complex notes under each slide that offer more insight into the information presented on screen. So how do you reproduce all this material when creating hard copies of your presentation? The Notes and Handout Masters are a great way of providing supplementary printed materials to accompany the presentation itself. The Notes Master controls the location and formatting of different elements like orientation, style, and placement options when you print or view notes from your presentation, while the Handout Master is used to map the location and formatting of other aspects of a presentation like headers, footers, dates, and page numbers. Over at Westcal, Grace needs to print a hard copy of her presentation. The handout must include copies of the notes under each slide along with page numbers, headers, footers, and the date. She can create these using the Notes Master and Handout Master in Microsoft PowerPoint. Find out how to modify notes and handouts in your own presentation, then see if you can assist Grace. To begin with, here's an overview of how to manage notes using the Notes Master in PowerPoint. To open the Notes Master view, click View and then Notes Master. When you open Notes Master view, you will see the note template used by PowerPoint. You'll also see a new Notes Master tab that has been added to the beginning of the other tabs on the ribbon. This tab is contextual in that it only appears in this view, but it also remains open until you close it or switch to another editing view within your presentation. You can now edit this page however you like using the commands on the Notes Master tab. This can include changing the header, date, slide image, notes pane text, footer, and page number settings. Finally, you can print or view notes pages by clicking File, Print, Full Page Slides drop-down, Print Layout, and then Notes Pages. How can you make sure that your handout contains all the information you need and that the information it contains is easy for recipients to follow? This is where PowerPoint's Handout Master really comes into its own. To open Handout Master view, click View, then Handout Master. This will open a new Handout Master tab and add it to the beginning of the other tabs. This tab is contextual in that it only appears while you are in this view. But it also remains open until you close it or switch to another editing view within your presentation. When you open Handout Master view, you will see the handout template used by PowerPoint. You can now edit this page however you like using the commands on the Handout Master tab. The changes will be reflected in all handouts that you create for this presentation. To print handouts for your presentation, select File, Print, Full Page Slides drop-down, Handouts, and choose one of the options. If you want even more control over your handouts, you can export them to Microsoft Word. But keep in mind that Word must be installed for this command to work. To begin exporting your PowerPoint, click File, Export, the Create Handouts option, and finally the Create Handouts command. These actions open the Send to Microsoft Word dialog box. From here, you can choose the page layout. You can also choose if you want the slides to be linked so that they will update based on slide changes. Click OK when you are ready. Your handouts will then appear in a new Word document. You can edit these handouts the same way you would edit any other Word document. You now know how to produce extra material with hard copies of your presentation using Microsoft PowerPoint. Great work. Welcome to this lesson on customizing a slideshow. In this lesson, you'll discover the different ways in which you can customize how a slideshow is displayed. You'll explore all the different features available for customizing your slide deck, as well as how to set up and record a presentation. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to annotate a presentation using the annotation tools, set up a slideshow by configuring the presenter view and the setup group settings, tailor your presentation to suit a particular audience using custom slideshow features, enhance your PowerPoint files' interactivity using hyperlinks and action buttons, and finally, record your presentation for playback. Over at Westcal, Thomas has been tasked with setting up and delivering a slideshow online to the wider Westcal team. Thomas needs to create two versions of the presentation, one for his clients and another for management. He also wants to be able to annotate the presentation during his delivery to help people understand the material better. Finally, he's planning to record the presentation so that those who can't attend can watch it back later. Looks like Thomas has a lot on his plate. To start off, why don't you help him out by exploring how to use annotations in PowerPoint? Maybe you could offer him some advice once you're up to speed. Annotations are simply marks that can be added to a slide while it is being presented. Typically, this is done to provide emphasis and identify important information in a presentation. Back at Westcal, Thomas is adding annotations to some complex diagrams in his presentation to help his audience understand them. To prepare for the presentation, he's begun familiarizing himself with the annotation tools available from PowerPoint's Pointer Options menu. Here's a quick overview of how to access the pointer options and what tools they offer. First, you need to place your presentation in slideshow view. To do this, press F5 or click the slideshow button. Once you've opened your presentation in slideshow view, right-click on the open slide in the presentation. Then click Pointer Options to open the Tools menu. The laser pointer turns your cursor into a bright red dot that can be used to point out important objects on the screen while you are presenting. Press the Escape key to cancel the laser pointer and return to the mouse cursor. Be careful not to press the Escape key twice, as this will end the presentation. With the pen option, you can write on the currently displayed slide by clicking and dragging your cursor. The highlighter option is for highlighting on-screen objects or text with your chosen color by clicking and dragging over them. Change the color of the pen or highlighter using the Ink Color tool from the Pointer Options menu. This lets you add some visual variety to your presentation, like underlining words in red and circling diagrams in yellow. What if you want to remove annotations from your presentation? Just use the Eraser tool to erase a single complete annotation mark, such as a continuous line or shape made by the pen. Clicking the Erase All Ink on Slide option will automatically erase all annotations on the slide. Finally, the arrow option is used to toggle the visibility of the arrow. The available options include automatic, visible, and hidden. So, you've finished your presentation and added a lot of annotations to help your audience understand it better. But what if you want to retain these annotations before you close your presentation? Before closing a presentation with added annotations, you will be asked if you would like to keep your changes or discard them. If you choose to keep the annotations that you made, then they'll be saved to your presentation and visible during editing. If you choose to discard these annotations, then PowerPoint will remove them from the presentation. You're now familiar with the different annotation tools available in Microsoft PowerPoint and how to use them to annotate your presentations. Annotations are a great way to interact with your presentation during delivery, so make the most of them. PowerPoint 365 can be very flexible in how and where it can deliver a slideshow. For example, you can choose to have a self-running presentation play on a kiosk at a trade show or reception area, or you could even run a presentation remotely over the internet. Thomas has finalised his presentation and he's now preparing to deliver it online to the wider Westcal team. But before he can begin his presentation, he first needs to perform a test run to check that it is set up correctly. So, what kind of checks does Thomas need to perform before delivering his presentation? What options are available to presenters in Microsoft PowerPoint? First, here's a closer look at PowerPoint's Presenter View. Presenter View provides the presenter with a different view of the presentation than what the audience sees. It gives you access to your notes as well as preview of upcoming slides without that information being shown to your audience. To take advantage of this feature, your computer needs to have multiple display capability. It also needs to be connected to a second monitor or projector. To enable Presenter View, check the Use Presenter View checkbox in the Monitors group on the Slideshow tab. Then start up your slideshow. Presenter View will be displayed on your primary monitor, while the presentation will be displayed on the secondary one. In Presenter View, you can see the presentation as the audience is seeing it. You can use this portion of the window in the same way that you would use the normal PowerPoint presentation window. The upper right-hand pane shows what the next slide in the presentation looks like. Notes for the current slide are shown just below the next slide preview pane. The very bottom of the Presenter View provides you with controls to advance or go backward in the presentation. It also tells you how many slides appear within your presentation. When the slideshow ends, you will see the same window that you would normally see at the end of a presentation. Click anywhere on the screen or press Escape on your keyboard to exit the presentation. If you don't like this black slide, you can change it. Click File, then Options, and choose the Advanced category. Scroll down to the Slideshow section and uncheck End with Black Slide. Now, once you complete your presentation, you will be returned to the Design window. Next, explore the commands from the Setup group. You can use the Setup group on the Slideshow tab to control how slideshows are displayed. The Setup Slideshow command displays the Setup Show dialog box. Use the controls in this dialog box to set up exactly how you would like your show to be presented. You'll explore these controls further in a few moments. The Hide Slide command hides the currently displayed slide from view, so it's not shown during the slideshow. Click the command again to show the slide. Next is the Rehearse Timings command. You can use this to rehearse your presentation and record exactly how long you spend on each slide. You can then use these timings to automatically play back your presentation. With the Record Slideshow command, you can record the slideshow from the beginning or from whichever slide is currently selected. You can also choose exactly what you want to record, such as slide and animation timings, narrations, and even laser pointing. Next to these commands are checkboxes which allow you to toggle certain features on and off. The Keep Slides Updated checkbox toggles real-time updates and changes to your slides while you are presenting. Make sure your PowerPoint file is saved to OneDrive to enable this checkbox. If you don't check the box, you can always access the Updated Slides feature from Presenter View. Next is the Play Narrations checkbox. You can use this checkbox to toggle narration options and laser pointer movement. The Use Timings checkbox toggles timing options that can be used to automatically play back your presentation. Finally, the Show Media Controls checkbox sets when controls are displayed for embedded media. When this checkbox is checked, the media controls will be displayed when you move your cursor over the media itself. Next, here's a closer look at the Setup Show dialog box controls as promised. The Setup Show dialog box provides all sorts of different controls that you can use to customize how your slideshow is displayed and run. As you've already seen, to open this dialog box, just click Slideshow and then Setup Slideshow. The Setup Show dialog box is divided into several sections. The first section is Show Type. This section includes 3 radio buttons that you can use to select between presentation show types. One of the major differences between the options in this section is that the right-click options differ between the first 2 options and are completely unavailable for the kiosk option. The kiosk option is used if you wish to display a slideshow in a public area like a conference or trade show. You can place the presentation on a monitor and program it to use automatic timing or even give the audience control over its progress. Next up are the Show Slides options. With these options, you can choose exactly which slides are shown during the presentation. There's also the Show Options section. From here you can find several options including looping a presentation so that the slideshow repeats itself until stopped, hiding or showing narration and animations, and choosing pen and laser pointer colors. Next to these are Advanced Slides options. With these 2 radio buttons, you can advance the slides in a presentation manually, or you can advance them automatically using timings. Finally, there's the Multiple Monitors section. This section allows you to choose which of your computer monitors shows the presentation. If you do not have multiple monitors, these controls will appear grayed out. You're now up to speed with the different ways in which you can set up and run a slideshow with Microsoft PowerPoint. Feel free to experiment with the features available to you and find what works best for your presentation. Best of luck. There may be times when you have a PowerPoint presentation that needs to be tailored towards different groups. Maybe you need one version that you can show to management and another for your clients. Fortunately, this doesn't mean building 2 separate PowerPoint files. With PowerPoint's custom slideshow features, you can rework the one presentation for multiple audiences. Custom slideshows are different versions of an existing presentation that include only a select number of slides from the original show. By creating a custom slideshow, you can tailor a presentation to a particular group. This means that you don't have to create a whole new presentation or delete material from the original file. Over at Westcal, Thomas is creating a presentation that must be delivered to his clients and some members of senior management. However, some of the slides contain sensitive company information which must be hidden from his clients. To work around this, he needs to create a separate version of his presentation for each audience. So how can Thomas build a separate presentation for each audience? Here's an exploration of the process for creating custom slideshows. To start creating a custom slideshow, click Slideshow, Custom Slideshow, and then Custom Shows. The Custom Shows dialog box will display. The Custom Shows dialog box is used to create and manage custom shows for the current presentation. You can use this dialog box to edit existing custom slideshows, copy them, or remove them entirely. To create a new custom show, click the New button. Select New to display the Define Custom Show dialog box. You can now begin creating a custom show from the options available in this box. To add slides to a custom show, first select the checkboxes for the slides that you would like to add from the list on the left-hand side of the dialog box. Once you have selected all the slides that you would like to include in your presentation, click the Add button. To change the position of a slide that has been added to a custom show, select the show from the Slides and Custom Show list. Then use the arrows to reorder the slide. You can also remove slides that have been added to a custom show by clicking the Remove button. You can also give your new custom show a name by typing it into the Slideshow Name text box. Once you have finished creating a custom show, click OK to create it. You will be returned to the Custom Shows dialog box and you'll see the new custom show listed. The ability to create custom shows is a great asset in PowerPoint. Take the earlier example of Thomas's presentation for Westcal. With custom slideshows, Thomas can create 2 versions of his presentation for Westcal, one for his colleagues and another for management. Now that you've created your custom show, how do you present it to your intended audience? To present a custom show that you've created, click Slideshow, then Custom Slideshow, and finally select your custom show. You can also click the Custom Shows option to open the Custom Shows dialog box. Then select the presentation and click Show. You can now customize your presentations to deliver a selection of slides to suit a particular audience. And you also know how to access and present your custom shows in PowerPoint. With this knowledge at hand, you'll be running custom slideshows in no time. Great work. Occasionally there may be a resource, like a web page, that you can't directly embed into a presentation. Hyperlinks and action buttons can be added to a slide in your presentation to lead to those resources when they're clicked. Hyperlinks are text or objects that, when clicked, connect to a web page, a file, or another location in the current document. With action buttons, you can instruct PowerPoint to perform a specific action when you click or move your mouse over a particular object. For example, you can add an action button that will execute a macro or launch a program. Over at Westcal, Thomas is preparing to deliver a presentation to his colleagues that outlines some of Westcal's new projects. He's decided to add hyperlinks on the slides that provide an overview of these new projects. When clicked, the hyperlinks will link to documents and websites that can be used to find out more information about each project. Looks like Thomas could do with some help adding these hyperlinks and action buttons. Take a few moments to find out how they work so that you can offer him some advice. To add an action button to your presentation, first select the object that you would like to use as a button. Then click Insert and Action. This action will open the Action Settings dialog box. The Action Settings dialog box is divided into two tabs, Mouse Click and Mouse Over. If you want an action to occur when the action button is clicked, use the commands on the Mouse Click tab. Or if you want an action to occur when the mouse cursor moves over a button, use the controls found on the Mouse Over tab. Don't worry about choosing between these tabs. Both include the same sets of controls. Here's an overview of the controls available and what each one does. The None control is selected by default. This option assigns no action. When the hyperlink option is selected, a hyperlink can be assigned to the button or object. To add a hyperlink, select some text. Then select the hyperlink option from the Actions tab. In this example, you can program the presentation to move to the next slide when the link is selected. You can also choose from Run Program, or Run Macro to run a specified macro when an object is clicked or hovered over. There's also the Object Action control. This option is used to set a linked or embedded object as a trigger to complete an action. You can also play a sound or highlight an object. Once you've set your controls, set OK to confirm. And that's how you add resources and interactivity to your presentation using hyperlinks and action buttons. Make sure to use them where they're most effective and where they count. With Microsoft PowerPoint 365, you can rehearse your presentation and record the slide timings as you complete it. If you have a microphone connected to your computer, you can even narrate and record the presentation so that it can be played back. Over at Westcal, Thomas is due to deliver his presentation on his latest projects to the team. However, some of his colleagues can't make it to the presentation. As a workaround, Thomas is going to record the presentation and then upload it to the Westcal server so that his colleagues can view it later. That's a great workaround that Thomas has found. But there's a lot of steps involved in recording a presentation. Why don't you familiarize yourself with Microsoft PowerPoint's recording process and features, then see if you can assist him. To record timings, narrations, and laser pointer gestures while presenting a slideshow, just select the following commands. Click Slideshow and then Record Slideshow. From the drop-down menu, decide if the recording should start from the current slide or the first slide in the presentation. This action will start the slideshow with the recording screen on the main monitor. There are several different features within this main monitor that you can use to help with your recording. You can use the control buttons to start your recording by selecting Record. You can also stop or replay your recording. The Notes command can be used to show or hide your notes, or adjust the size of text for ease of reading. Use Clear to clear the recording on the current slide or on all slides. The Settings button opens the microphone and camera settings. You can use the Return and Advance buttons to return to a previous slide or advance to the next one. The Slide Information button shows the current slide, the slide number, and the recording time. Access pen options to turn your cursor into an eraser, a pen, or a highlighter. You can also choose different colors for your pen. Use connection options to mute yourself, turn the camera off, or preview your camera when it is turned on. Finally, the main screen displays the slide that the audience is currently looking at. Once you have finished your recording and click Save, the recording will be saved as a separate PowerPoint show. Double-click on the file to start the slideshow. How can you determine how long each slide in your presentation appears on screen for? What if you need some slides, like diagrams or those with large amounts of text, to appear on screen for longer than others? With the Rehearse Timings feature, you can tell PowerPoint how much time it should allow for each slide. This lets you perform a rehearsal of your timings. The timing settings can then be used for both an automatic presentation and for presenter view. To start this feature, click Slideshow, then Rehearse Timings. The slideshow begins and the recording shortcut menu appears in the top left-hand corner. When you finish the slideshow, you'll be provided with the total time and asked if you want to keep it. Click Yes to save the new timings or No to discard them. You'll then be returned to your presentation in Slide Sorter view. Remember, you can redo the rehearsal as many times as you like, but only the timings from the most recent rehearsal will be saved. And there you have it. Those are the tools and features at your disposal for recording presentations. Best of luck with your recordings. Throughout the last few lessons, you've discovered how to customize a slideshow with Microsoft PowerPoint. You now know how to apply the finishing touches to a presentation for delivery in front of an audience and can review spelling and grammar using PowerPoint's proofreading features, customize movements between slides by applying transitions, print hard copies of a presentation for an audience, and prepare your presentation for online and in-person delivery. You also learned how to work with others on presentations using PowerPoint's collaboration tools and can add and enact comments in a presentation, review a presentation using markups and comparison features, and store and share presentations with colleagues over cloud services like OneDrive. You're able to control your presentation's appearance by customizing design templates in which you can create and manage sections, modify slide masters and slide layouts, add headers and footers, and modify the notes master and the handout master. And you're also up to speed with other customization features and know how to annotate a presentation using the pointer option tools, take advantage of PowerPoint's flexible delivery options, create separate slideshows for different audiences, add engagement with hyperlinks and action buttons, and finally, record a presentation using PowerPoint's record functionalities. You're now comfortable with preparing presentations for delivery, customizing designs and templates, and working with review and collaboration tools. Best of luck with your future presentations. You've reached the end of this course on Microsoft PowerPoint. Here's a quick recap of the skills you've gained now that you've completed the course. In the first module, you became familiar with the various elements of PowerPoint's interface and explored the basics of creating a presentation. The second module guided you through how to build the framework of a presentation along with adding and editing content. During Module 3, you discovered how to enhance a presentation using tables, charts, media, and animations. Finally, in Module 4, you learned how to prepare a presentation for delivery by performing reviews, collaborating with others, and customizing your presentation as needed. In the next module, you'll have the opportunity to complete the honours material in the form of a graded peer review exercise. In this exercise, you'll have to draw upon the knowledge that you've gained throughout the previous modules and put it into practice by applying your PowerPoint skills to an assignment. Once you've submitted this exercise, other learners in the course can review your work and submit feedback. Likewise, you'll also need to provide feedback to other learners. You're now confident with developing, reviewing, and delivering presentations in PowerPoint. We wish you the best of luck with PowerPoint in your career. Congratulations, you've reached the end of the course. You are now ready to complete the honours hands-on practice using Microsoft PowerPoint. This is an optional honours assignment you can complete for special recognition in the course. It is not required to complete this assignment to get a course certificate, but if you complete all honours assignments in a course, your course certificate will include a special honours recognition. If you don't get a course certificate, your accomplishments page will show that you completed a course with honours. By working through the lessons in this course, you have learned the necessary skills and techniques to create a captivating and effective presentation. This assignment will demonstrate that you are confident with the techniques used to create slides, format different kinds of content, including text and text boxes, shapes, images, and graphs. It will also show that you can add interest to the delivery of the presentation by using animation techniques. The project consists of 2 tasks. For your first task, you will create a presentation on a topic of interest to you using a supplied sample presentation as a model. You will need to use all the skills that you've learned to make your presentation as captivating and effective as possible. This task will give you a chance to bring together some of the skills you have developed in PowerPoint that might be useful to progress your career. You can demonstrate that you are confident navigating, creating, and saving presentations in the PowerPoint 365 environment. You can show that you are comfortable using PowerPoint help features. Finally, you can show your range of skills by selecting a presentation type, building a presentation, and editing text. These are all skills that you have used before in this course, but this time you will apply them all to a single document. In your second task, you need to review a presentation submitted by a peer. As a reviewer, you'll provide feedback on a presentation submitted by a peer. You'll get detailed guidance on how to do this and what to look out for. And that's it. Once you've completed the tasks in this project, you will have successfully concluded the course. Well done, that's a considerable achievement. Happy presenting and good luck with your assignment.